All right, good evening, everybody. This is Charles Carter. I'm going to host the Stunt Hangar video chat this evening. This is Friday, July 31st, and I look forward to having a conversation, a video chat about aeromodeling or anything you want to talk about in your shop, flying. Um, you have it. Also, there's a super chat if you wanted to contribute to the show. That'll help Sparky and Rusty. Um, and if you want to come in on the show, you need to have a membership with Stunthangar. And if you have a mic and a camera, you can actually be part of the show. If you don't have all that, or if you're not a member of Stunthangar, you can watch us on Stunthangar on YouTube, and there's a chat box, and you can actually participate in the show on the chat box. And I'll try to keep up on what's going on YouTube as well, so that I can include you in the conversation. Let me get to YouTube right now and see where the chat is. Just bear with me for a second. Let's see here. How you doing, Gary? I saw you.
Pretty good.
Good. Let me get to Stunthangar on YouTube, and
yeah, go ahead and do your thing there.
so I can. Let's see here.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Gary. Hi, Charles.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Let me get this chat on the YouTube channel so I can see what's going on there. I'm trying to figure this out on the fly. I've done it from outside the show, but where is the chat box? Where is the chat box?
Look down on your taskbar. If you popped it out, it might be right next to the icon for your browser.
I haven't popped it out yet.
Oh, well, it's on the black page.
Okay. Okay, I'm on the black page now.
Hi, Charles.
Hey, everybody.
Good.
Let me get this chat on the YouTube channel so I can see what's going on there. I'm trying to figure this out on the fly. Uh-oh. I've done it from outside the show, but where is the chat box?
I think we have an echo.
Yeah.
I bet it's me. I think I've forgotten to turn my YouTube feed out. It might be right next to the icon for your browser. Okay, no more echo. I had my YouTube page going. A typical rookie viewer mistake. I'm just a hanger on tonight.
Sounds good. So I found the chat box. So let me fit that and have that where I want it to be, so I can keep an eye on what's going on. Let's see here.
I'm going to eat my macaroni and cheese while y'all
Sure.
talk.
Well, let me see. As soon as I find where I put the chat box at, whoops.
If you pop it out, then it's on the taskbar right next to your browser icon.
Okay, hang on. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So now I got everything up. I'm not quite covering your face, Gary, but I can still see you, and I got the chat box. All right, cool. So I see you said hi, Rusty. You said hi, Charles. That's from Rusty, and I see Mr. Bishop out there, and Eddie Sutter. Hello, and Jack Snavely. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Stunt Hangar video chat. Okay, so I think I'm kind of situated now. So what's going on with everybody?
Well, I've got a new co-host, and I can just sit here and eat macaroni while he does the show.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, Charles is going to spell me for a while, off and on, and we're just practicing tonight. Charles is going to run the show, and if I take a vacation or something like that, he'll probably fill in. But I get fatigued doing it, and we've been talking about co-hosting for a while now, and finally got around to getting it set up. So let Charles get kind of polished up on it. So y'all give him a break and be nice. Try to help him along so he doesn't have to guide the conversations too much. But the show is Charles's for now.
All right.
Well, I saw that Sparky posted tonight, so it was good to hear from him and find out that he was okay.
Yeah.
He's had kind of sounds like
busy week.
Did he freeze up? He froze up a little bit. Yeah, I actually had text Sparkley, text him, and he told me he's just been working crazy hours, and so that's why he's been a no-show of lately. Just these hours he's been working.
yeah, he had a video on tonight explaining all of it.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the video, but I saw the link, but I haven't watched the video. And hey, Peter, what you up to? I see him working on something.
Yeah, he's not hearing you though.
Okay.
Hey, Peter, can you hear us?
Mike's muted.
Okay.
I'm gonna finish up the nose on the on the Saginaw kit tonight. Need to drill the holes for the motor mounts and get the other balsa doublers in there.
Oh, very good.
Figure out where the engine's got to be clear. The nose ring.
Yep, I did that on my new build about a month ago. So I feel you on that. I know
It's a little bit different on a profile.
Yeah, I know, but that's the same outcome. You want that nose ring to match up to the spinner with minimal space. And we have a fellow jitster on here with no name. I don't know who that is.
John just popped in. Yeah, we do have a fellow jitster who doesn't yet have a name.
Name or their mic on, or their video, their camera on.
We need to see more Sparky's face.
Rusty, you mean?
Rusty, yeah. There you go.
How's that? Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah, that's better. So I went flying today, you guys. I flew a combat ship. You know, I'm trying my best to not get distracted on my new build. And what happens to me ordinarily is I get off track and I start repairing a plane, and that gets more involved than I expect. Next thing I know, I haven't got back to my new build in some time. And so I have a bunch of planes that just need little fixes or repairs. And as a result, I don't really have any plane that I really like to fly right now. And so I decided, well, since I don't like any of my other planes that much right now, I'll just fly a combat plane. And I had a friend who flies combat exclusively, so I joined him, and I'm teaching a guy named Joe Mata how to fly. So it was the three of us out there today, and it was good. It's really hot out here. It's I think it's about 93 degrees.
Wow. It's been hotter than California here all week. It's been over 100 every day.
Yeah, it's the heat doesn't really bother me that much. I'm always being careful not to get trapped and get heat exhaustion, but for the most part, I'm pretty tolerable of the heat. I mean, I feel it. It's hot. It's taxing, but it doesn't necessarily stop me from doing what I want to do.
Yeah, we got a severe weather warning here for the last couple of days. Supposed to be pretty much until Monday, 105 to 108 degrees here, and they're warning of being careful about the high temperatures.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been staying inside a lot anyway. Got the air conditioning going. The world is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank God for that invention.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was flying the Gentle Lady on floats today.
Oh, nice.
I've got LEDs in the wing is covered with transparent covering, and then I have LEDs along the leading edge of the wing, inside the wing, and on the bottom of the fuselage and inside the tail. So I don't know. I haven't gotten up enough courage to fly it at night yet.
Oh, that's what my next question was. That sounds like you're ready for night flying.
It could fly at night. It's just that you probably can see the airplane really well, but you can't necessarily see obstacles on the lake and things like that. So
Oh yeah, like even the water. You probably couldn't even see the water, right?
right,
Make sure you got some moon out when you fly it at night.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That sounds like good advice. So I was just walked outside today during the day, and I heard this airplane, a full-size airplane, and so it sounded pretty close and low, and so I looked out there, and a full-size aircraft on floats landed on the lake I live on,
Wow.
and it didn't stay on the water long. It landed, and then it just gave it full power and took off again. But
Well, you shouldn't have been running out there with wanting him to pay for landing fees.
Yeah.
it's something you don't see very often on the lake I live on.
What was it?
Looked like a Cessna, some kind of a high wing plane. I think it was just like a
172.
172, 182. I don't know. It's kind of far away, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, those are the two you named are the two most likely that I've known to be on floats.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm not aware, so tell me, is the camera moving to who's ever speaking, or do I need to do that every single time?
It goes to whoever's making the most noise.
Okay.
But if somebody's like showing something and they don't make enough noise, it'll go away from them, and that's when you need to control who's big and who's small.
Okay.
That way the YouTubers get the benefit of looking at whatever it is they're holding up to show. And all of you guys can manually make somebody big or small too. Yeah, there's grid view. That's grid view now.
Okay. Yeah.
So yesterday, Gary and I saw I suppose it was your test that you were doing. Anyway,
Yeah.
Gary and I were chatting it in the chat box, even though there wasn't any video up
Oh,
there.
interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I was just listening to Rusty and just we had a little bit of a poor connection, so I had to really focus really hard to
We
understand.
didn't. I didn't think we started a YouTube stream yesterday, or this was on just Jitsi, or
It
what?
was YouTube,
YouTube.
and it's just said, I think test
Yeah,
something, or
Yeah.
test video or something like that.
I don't
Do you
think we
remember,
ever
Gary?
clicked start stream, did we, Charles?
I don't remember. It's kind of a blur to me, but I know we never did go live.
I
That I
guess we
know.
did.
It
Oh
said
well.
wait.
Well, even if you're not live, you can still chat on there if you start if you're gonna start a YouTube.
Oh, okay. Next time we do a practice session, Charles, let's set it to private.
Okay, that's a good idea. Now, when it's there's no video, Tom. Was there like a thumbnail? Is there like a default thumbnail? No, when Sparky does it, I see his default thumbnail where it says uh, like it's not started yet, but we're waiting kind
Waiting.
of thing.
Yeah, right. Waiting on the
Yeah.
Stunt Hangar.
Yeah, it was the Stunt Hangar screen, start screen.
Okay. So it's probably waiting for me to hit the go live button. Like I had today, we had it up and ready, and at 6:41 and a half or whatever, I hit the go live and posted the thread on Stunt Hangar forum.
Yeah.
We was giving thumbs up and everything, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it
Well,
never
I'll tell
hurts
you,
to give thumbs
then,
up, right?
so now we know when we're all set up waiting for the show. Before we click the go live button on YouTube, we need to mute our mics and turn our cameras off.
We didn't hear you.
We didn't hear
Hear
your
Oh,
or
you
see
couldn't
them.
hear anything.
No.
No,
Oh, I thought
We
you
just-
could hear us
No.
talking.
No.
we just saw the start screen, and we were just chatting.
Yeah.
Type in the chat box.
Oh, just the chat box.
Yeah,
Oh,
we were
gotcha.
on YouTube.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
just typing
Okay.
back and forth.
Okay. That makes me feel better.
No.
Feel better.
We kind of had guessed that you were probably it was Rusty and Charles just practicing for
Yeah,
tonight.
that's exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things that he does unbeknownst to all of us. And I was asking him, do you have this all scripted out? And he's like, no, which is amazing to me.
I suppose it's kind of tough at the beginning when you're new to it, but after you've done it as long as Rusty has, it's probably old hat.
Yeah, I was really impressed at his recall, and when you're doing like a tech call, an IT tech call, and you really can't see what the person's doing. You just relying on what they're saying is in front of them, and then they'll tell you to go here, go there, click on this, And I was just amazed that he saw and didn't miss anything.
I'm glad we got you going because I really could use the help. I get tired doing this show and I could use a little bit of rest, and I appreciate you stepping in for me.
No problem. I look forward to it. So I sent a few people. John, did I send you any images of the mold buck that I made?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, back up. Yes, you did. A couple of them, yeah.
Yeah. So it's down in the garage. I decided to come up here on my first show to make sure I was comfortable. So so I have it down in the garage. But I don't have everyone's phone number or email, so I couldn't share everybody. But I was just kind of pleased with myself on what I had created, you know. So I sent some friends of mine that I fly with um, some messages with the video, with the images of my mold buck, which is made out of balsa, excuse me, made
Oh
out of
yeah, you sent me
styrofoam.
one.
I have a styrofoam that I shaped, and it's on a plywood base.
Yeah, once you get those made, Charles, it makes it a whole lot easier to make your successive versions of the airplane.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that aspect. I know it's a lot of upfront investment of time, and but I know it'll pay off dividends down the road. And sometimes you can use the same mold buck for even different designs in some cases, right?
In some cases, yes.
Yeah. So that's so it won't all be a waste if I use a different, if I build a different plane, which I might. I've talked about the planes I want to build. I have a Thunder Gazer kit, and I have a kit from Steve Hines. I have a Tempest kit I want to build, and I have plans for the Gypsy. I'd like to build the Gypsy, and I have plans for the Pathfinder LE.
You found out how simple it is to make those mold bucks now. Yeah, they really aren't that hard. Once you do it once, most
Right.
people are afraid to, or not afraid. It overwhelms them to begin the process of making them.
Yeah, it's let's see if I can. I might have some images on an email I can share with other people. Let me see if I can get my email.
But by the way, Charles, I can't help but throw this in as it's a little dig. It's a little joke. Okay,
Go ahead.
you really got friends?
Yeah, I really do have some friends. Most of them are. It's funny how life goes. Because I used to be in the financial services field for like 22 years, insurance, investments, and mortgages, and a lot of my friends became clients, and then my colleagues that I worked with were all friends. So all my friends were either in financial services or they were clients. Um, and then when I got back into model aviation, now I started accumulating a lot of friends that I fly with. Even some do different aspects. Not all of them do stunt. Some do combat. Some do free flight. Some do RC. Of course, I'm closest to the ones that do what I love and behold so much as stunts. But yeah, I have some friends, believe it or not. Yeah.
Oh, I believe it, Charles. I believe it. I just had to pull that little dig.
Sure, absolutely. I understand. Yeah, I'm a pretty social person. That's what's so weird to me is I come across people in this hobby, and there are people in this hobby that are just so, fantastic as far as flyers or builders or whatever you want to think of. But the one thing they're not is social, and that is so bizarre, you know. And I think that's probably why some people we can't get on the show, they're really not really comfortable with um, this social aspect that we enjoy. Obviously, we're social people because we enjoy doing this every week, twice a week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I think it might be because we're show-offs.
Right.
I'm going to go prepare the second course for my dinner. I'll see y'all back here in a little while.
All righty.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for your help.
Halibut?
I guess he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, that's it. You got it on your first guess. I had already turned my mic off.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'll be back in a little bit.
All
Yeah,
right.
I was wondering why all those guys at the Nats fly all of that. How come they don't come on and say hi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know some of them actually. out here in California and the West Coast, I should say, I see some of them. I mean, the premier, the upper echelon. I know there's some that are back on the other side of the country that I don't know. Like Joe Daly and some other people that I really don't know. But there's a lot of the upper echelon, I like to say, that know me, uh, and I'm hoping to know them better. But yeah, I'd like to get them on the show if they have time and if they're willing. But yeah, there's some people that I see. I see them at the Golden State Sun Championship. I hope to see them when I go to the Northwestern Regionals. But some of the top guys are out here in the West Coast, and like I said, I guess we're a little bit more than acquaintances. I like to think.
I
Well,
guess it is a really big time commitment for people too.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it is. It's I'm decided to come in my office here and not be in my dungeon or garage, to forego working on it. I have been working on my airplanes the last several broadcasts. I've been trying to get some work done, so I decided to just be up here where it's air conditioned and comfortable. So, but I'm not going to get anything done on my plane tonight. But hopefully this weekend, I actually will maybe mold the balsa wood. I need to I guess glue the balsa wood together in a way that there's no seam on the top of the mold. So I imagine I need to put uh, maybe cut two pieces so there's three pieces to avoid having the seam down the top of the mold buck.
Yeah,
If
you
you
can
catch
do that.
it.
You can do that. Glue them together. Glue them together before you mold them. That's for sure. Um, I always took and try, like on a leading edge mold. I'd 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 leave the center in one piece so to wrap around the leading edge, and then I'd glue on what it took to get back to the spars on both ends, or both edges, upper and lower, or each side, whatever way you want to describe it. That way, when it rolled across there, you didn't have a line or an edge right on the leading edge part. And also, that's where your biggest stress is, making your curve. And that if you're going to lose a glue joint, that'd be where you'd have a problem.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to try to avoid that. So I got to find some light 1/16 balsa. I got to go through my stock, and that's easier said than done. I got to find it and see if I can
Well,
figure out some light wood.
well, in actuality, normally, like if you'd have used 1/8 inch or 3/32 balsa, 1/16 is half or 1/3 of of, of, of the thickness of that material. And so it doesn't have to be as light as the 3/32 or 1/8 would have to be. You can go with a bit heavier wood because you're not compounding weight up on it. Uh, since you're using 1/16, you're going to make it one layer of 1/16. Is that right? Like Bob
Right.
talked about.
Yeah.
By the way, what was the name of that epoxy he put on the inside?
The Z-epoxy.
Z-epoxy. That's it. I was trying to remember that the other day. Excellent idea. I think, because my problem, like when we did when Gordon built the Heinz, not the Heinz, yeah, the Tony. That's it. When he built the Tony, we formed all those parts at the top and the turtle deck and all of that, and we wound up, used a lot of sh- uh, shrinking dope on it, and it got that starved horse look. It was,
Oh,
just about ruined the whole idea. Determined later that what needed to be done was to use non-shrinking dope, on those pieces. But putting the epoxy back there, like Bob says, he didn't even put much in the way of support underneath the material of the balsa, and doesn't get the starved horse look. I was impressed with that because I've seen the results of having that occur.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't look very good because you never can get it totally flat to get a really good finish, right?
Well, you can get a good finish on it. It just doesn't look right. It looks like a starving horse.
Yeah,
So, if you have the parts remain molded and look as good as they did when you molded them before you start painting them on there, that's your desire. That's what you want to have happen. You can mold them and get them to look really good. It's when you start putting the paint on it, if you don't have any backing there, and what kind of backing do you use on a large part like a turtle deck? You know, what exactly? How do you set it up so you don't get the starving horse look? We used, I think it was 3/32 balsa that we molded for the Tony, and we had a top part on the top of a longitude part that went from the top, the front to the top, back by the rudder, and then we had the bulkheads went down there, and we had a piece, a longitudinal piece went, and at where the joint was made, we had an overlap that went about, it was about 3/8 of an inch wide, and went about 3/16 of an inch on each side. So what it was to make that seam and strengthen it so it wouldn't suck in there when it worked. Except everywhere in between, it shrunk in between the bulkheads. It looked like crap.
yeah. That must have been the first Tony, right? Because I remember seeing the Tony where his good friend did one side by side at the same time. I saw those
Mhm.
Tonys at the Golden State Stunt Championship several
Yeah,
years
I was
ago.
there at that time too. We missed seeing each other then.
Yeah, I have actually I have some pictures of those two Tonys,
Yeah.
and I flew against the other Tony, the one that what is that Gordon's friend's name? Do you know?
I can't think of it. I want to say English, but that's not it. He's from down in Europe, neck of the woods, so flies with Saban.
Anyways, I was afraid. I was not afraid, but just kind of apprehensive competing against such a beautiful airplane because just human nature, being a judge, to just admire a beautiful airplane, and that was, I mean, both those Tonys were beautiful. Um,
Well, they were, and they're almost scale. That the only departure from scale were that it was not quite as tall. I think we shrunk it about 5 or 6% in the wide direction. So, in other words, it would have been a lot taller in the fuselage. We shrunk it down a little bit, so it wasn't quite, but it still had the length. And so, in relation to length to the height was about 4 or 5% different than what it would have been had it stayed scale. And we didn't put in uh, dihedral, which was a mistake. We determined later, Gordon determined later, that he would have liked to have had some dihedral, because then he wouldn't have had to have the wing mounted up so high to keep it on the center of mass, the vertical CG, right? So those are the things you learn as you do it. I think if he ever builds a second one, he'll probably build it with dihedral on it. We already figured it out what it would have to be, you know, get the lead outs up, at the center of mass, or the center of vertical gravity, so that it wouldn't roll in or out on him. It's fun. It's fun doing that. I love doing near scale, uh, uh, semi scale stunners. Closer to scale, that's why one of the projects I want to work on is that A10. The Warthog. It just tickled the daylights out of me. I was thinking today about how to set up for, because the wing comes out flat from the fuselage to about 40% or 30% of the the wingspan, and then it has some dihedral that goes up from that point. And I'm figuring how how do you make that transition with your flaps, you know, to keep it smooth and operating?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think I figured something out. So, yeah, otherwise I'd have had to build the wing, you know, straight, in which case I'd have to mount the wing up a little bit higher to get to the vertical CG again.
Which plane was it that Wendy Unowski built that had a little bit of dehedral in it? It was a twin.
B-25.
Yes, I was watching those series of videos, and they're on YouTube, by the way, on either Paul T or Control Guy channel, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting when he was trying to figure out how to couple those flaps, with that dihedral, and he
Yeah.
was trying all kinds of things, and it's really interesting. And I don't know what he ended up doing, but that was very interesting. And then Kirk Mullinex, right?
Yeah, with this Corsair.
Corsair. I mean, all that. He had the same challenge with that.
Yeah, he wound up with a gearing system, if I remember correctly, you know, that he used to get the flaps to work correctly on the Corsair. That was quite an endeavor. Unfortunately, the next project didn't work out as well. He wanted to do a P-38 Lightning. Problem with the P-38, it has such a high aspect ratio wing that it doesn't look right if you lower the wing aspect ratio down. It just doesn't look right. It looks like a cartoon. I wouldn't say that's not that bad, but it just didn't work out. He had me draw up the fuselage portion, the the cockpit area, and that almost dead on scale, at a particular scale. And I sent it to him, and he built the plane, but I never saw it really come out and compete. I don't think it worked out well for him.
Let me interrupt here. Jeremy Burton said, "Hello, everybody."
Hi,
Hello,
Jeremy.
Greg. Welcome to the show. If you're a member of Stunt Hangar and you have a camera and a mic, come on in.
Yeah, Kurt Mullinex has had a few really exceptional semi-scales that he's come up with.
Yeah, I see Kirk Mullinex at the Golden State. That's the last time I saw him was the Golden State a couple years ago.
I saw that they canceled it for this year.
Oh, they did cancel Golden State?
Yeah, and they canceled the Northwest Regionals. They were going to hold it in September. They canceled that too.
Oh man, I saw that they canceled the Northwestern Regionals, but I wasn't sure about Golden State. But I'm gonna still try to hands all deck and get this plane done because you know what?
Well, yeah, check it out because I don't trust my memory sometimes. Check it out. But I seem to remember reading here just the last day or two that it had been canceled.
Well, anyway, I gotta get that plane built because you know what? Sooner I get it built, sooner I can start trimming it out. So whenever the contest is, I'll be ready. And
Good plan.
Yeah. So, and I got, and I don't know. None of us know how much time we have, right? And we have all these kits, and we think, one day I'm going to build that, one day I'm going to build this, but I mean, we really never know, And so, like, sometimes I have to, encourage me to just get these things done because who knows? You just never know.
Well, yeah. How many estate sales do we see on the classifieds where
Right.
there's all these kits and engines and stuff? And, some poor widows trying to figure out what to do with them, and it wasn't for people, that get in there to help her. She would have either thrown them away or been roasted over their value because people would have taken advantage of her.
Yeah, I know. Hey, John, there's a question on the chat here. It's by Eddie Sutter. He says, question for John. On the Uniflow tank, what position is the Uniflow tube positioned, and is it connected to the muffler or capped if no muffler?
The Uniflow needs to be open to the air. The one that's capped is the overflow. In both cases, if you're using muffler pressure, which is the way I like to do it, I run the muffler pressure to the Uniflow. and I cap the overflow. So it has to be a sealed system like that. I found that by using the problems a lot of people have with uniflows, especially the RC plastic tank type uniflows, is that they've tried to bring the pickup tube and the pickup line and the uniflow line. They tie them right together, and that means then they're flopping. If they're a clunk setup, they're flopping and they go up and down with the variations and the forces on the flying. And the problem is your uniflow is raising and lowering. It's not maintaining its relationship to the center of the tank. So it makes it run variable. It doesn't run like it's supposed to. So by the way that I've been using it, that Alan Brickhouse showed me, I mean that's where I got it from. I did do some further refinement on it, but it was Alan that took me aside and showed it to me. By maintaining the uniflow to the center of the tank, it doesn't have to be clear back to the back. I usually put it about midpoint of the way back, and that way it can be moved up or down, which raises or lowers the tank, to fine tune your run. And all that goes to the back of the tank is the pickup. So I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, Eddie, let me know. You go ahead and type in the type chat if you have any more questions or need more clarification. Go ahead and chat in the box so I can know. But I know it's kind of got into clunk tanks now, but I found it really interesting. I was watching one of Whitney Wanowski's tapes, and he had he videotaped a stunt, a kind of a clinic at Rodax when Roy Trantham was alive.
Mm-hmm.
And Roy Trantham was explaining that he actually used two clunks in the clunk tank. So he had a clunk that was on the uniflow, which was free. It wasn't encumbered by being tight or adjacent to the pickup line like you described earlier. It was free. But he actually, and I tried this, it works really good. He found that by adjusting the length of the clunk, that's the uniflow clunk, he could get a different brake. You can get a harder brake or a softer brake depending upon the length of it. And I actually tried that. My top flight score that I flew, I had that, and I actually experimented with that, and it actually worked because my Super Tiger 51 was it was a engine massaged by Randy Smith. I only have two engines that have really been built by an engine builder, and one is actually, excuse me, three. I have an engine Super Tiger 60 that was built by Frank Bowman. But anyways, the Super Tiger 51, it was just all right. Someone's showing the image of
that'll be Peter, I think.
Yeah, usually Peter's all over it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. What you're describing that Roy Trantham did sounds to me like it was more of a tuning exercise for tuning the brake. It wasn't really truly what you would call a uniflow tank, but he's able to get it to work and run. So it was pretty good. But the real thing about a uniflow tank is, if you look at a metal uniflow tank, the uniflow is soldered actually to the pickup, which does not move. It's not a clunk.
Right.
And so the uniflow is maintained in one relationship to the tank itself, and that's what you're trying to establish with the uniflow, is where the center of the tank is. And what it does, as long as the uniflow is not uncovered, the uniflow acts and acts like the fuel level is always the same height, even though your fuel level is going down. Remember, if you don't have a uniflow tank on every, just have a standard plumb tank, the old-fashioned kind, with one pickup that goes back, and one overflow from the top going down, and one overflow from the bottom coming up. Remember what happens when you start getting down to about 30% or less fuel? It starts to speed up.
Right. Right.
And by the time that it's over, before it ends, it's going pretty good lick. Well, the reason why you want a uniflow is to maintain an engine speed through the last half of the stunt pattern. You don't need to be doing 4 or 3.5 second laps. Trying to do your 4-leaf clover or your overheads or things like that, and that's what happens without a uniflow. So the uniflow is used on mostly in stunt is to maintain that run, and to do that, if Peter would put that uh, diagram on the tank back up, I'd appreciate it. The reason why the way you do that is to maintain the relationship to the center of the tank, and the relationship is, maybe that was Tom Ramo that put that up.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, okay. Would you put that back up, Tom?
Yeah, I've got it back up now.
Let me see
Okay.
if I can find it, and I'll click on it, you guys, so we can have it center
Tom,
stage.
some there. I don't have a picture on you.
Yeah, I don't have a picture on Tom either, or the picture of the tank.
Have you got your camera on, or?
It says sharing.
We're not seeing you. There it is.
There you go.
There it is. Okay.
And,
So
and John, hang on a second, John. By the way, Eddie has another question. A follow-up question is: so start with the uniflow in the middle of the tank and adjust accordingly. Is his question?
yes. If you look at that picture there, that diagram, the uniflow is the tube that's on the far left-hand side. You look at the top view, the far left-hand side, the one it's got a bend on the. I bend it like that so it's easy to adjust the height, top and bottom. And I start out with it in the center. I'll go fly it, and if it say runs, speeds up going inverted, then I move the uniflow. What I have to do? It speeds up. I have to raise it when you're looking at it right side up. And so when I get it to where I've got the speed identical, inverted and right side up, then the uniflow is set right. Now that's the only thing that the uniflow is supposed to adjust. What was his name? Trantham was doing was he was using the double, but he was adjusting the length of that tubing to adjust his brake, the strength of his brake. And if you've got your tank, if you can get your tank moved up and down to where you can get the run the same, that might be nice to have to be able to adjust the strength of the brake.
That's what I did. I actually adjusted my tank height, the clunk tank, and then I adjusted the length of the clunk on the uniflow to get the kind of brake I liked. And
Right,
I have another question. This is by Will Davis on the chat line. He says, I'm reading it as I see it. Unified in the middle fixed, clunk can move. I don't know if he means uniflow. He might have meant uniflow in the middle fixed, clunk can move.
the uniflow will not move with the various G loads or whatever in flight. The uniflow will stay in the relation it is, and it adjusts the height of the tank. Not virtually, but effectively, even though the tank is not moving at all, by raising or lowering the end of that uniflow does the same as raising or lowering the tank. The only part that moves there is the pickup, the fuel pickup. And that's the long one that goes back. And then the one in the middle there is the overflow. And if you look at the bottom view, the round cap there, you've got, the holes in the cap of that plastic car seat tank. There's 3 holes, and you line them up so the bottom 2 are at the same level, and the top one is up at the top, so it makes a triangle. And the uniflow is on the far left compared to the diagram, and the pickup is on the far right on the bottom. So the two bottom parts of the triangle. The left side is the uniflow, the right side is the pickup, and the overflow is the top one, the peak of the triangle, and that is bent up and brought up into the upper corner. So you now have your bend. Now, the one that you cap is the overflow. The one that if you don't run it to your muffler pressure, which is I like to do because it works fine for me, is the overflow. If you don't do that, you need to bring it out and you run a little piece of tubing and put it into the airstream so that it's faced into the incoming air, but it's open to the air. Otherwise, it won't work as a uniflow at all.
So the overflow goes to the muffler. Is that right?
No, the overflow is capped off.
Okay. All right.
The only part that goes to the muffler is the uniflow.
All right. Just want to clarify that. And also, hi, Will Davis. And I see your correction there. He did mean uniflow in that earlier comment. So that'll be uniflow in the middle, fixed, clunk can move.
If you see from the diagram where the pickup goes in, but makes a slight bend aimed towards the outside corner of the RC tank. And so that then aligns the pickup to that corner, which is when you're flying going in a circle, that's where your fuel is going to be. And over here on the uniflow side, which is okay, there you go. That goes to make a sharper bend and goes to the middle of the tank there. And what that does is keeps the uniflow and the pickup line plumbing inside the tank away from each other, so they're not interfering with each other. And that allows the uniflow to work, and it allows the pickup, the clunk type pickup, to work efficiently as a clunk pickup. It works as a clunk because it's moving with the fuel that's bouncing around in that tank. It's trying to stay in where the main mass of the fuel is. But the uniflow does not need nor want to move. It stays set. And of course, the overflow is only used when you're filling the tank, and then you block it off. You put a cap on it so that it's a sealed unit. If you don't do that, it doesn't work very well at all.
All right. I actually use that setup on a profile as well, and it works very well. I actually liked it. It's a good system, John.
Yeah, like I say, I didn't originate it. The originator, as I know it, I don't know if he originated it, but I got it from Alan Brickhouse. We were talking, and he said, "Let me take it over and show you this." Took me over, took the hatch off the plane, and showed it to me. And I said, "That's really cool." And so after that, and over the years, I arranged the tank, the cap, and that the way it is, the bends, and set it up so that it would work better. And you could look at the tank and tell what was happening. Now, that bend on the uniflow coming out doesn't have, nor am I able to really get it quite like that. That's a dream thing. I wish I could do it like that. But
Yeah.
I usually come out and then I just bend it out at an angle. I just want to have something that I put my fingers on and to grab and to rotate. Okay, if it came out straight like the pickup line, it'd be hard to rotate. You'd have to have a wrench, not a wrench, a pair of pliers in there or whatever, and you're liable to make a mistake and squeeze the darn thing shut, and then now your tank's not worth nothing.
Yeah, well, mine actually came out kind of like the drawing.
You did that? Congratulations.
Yeah, pretty. I have a. Is it a Higley?
Oh, bender, yeah.
The Higley bender, not
Yeah.
the coils, but the actual that block of steel.
Yeah.
That nut shaped thing.
Yeah.
That works pretty darn good. That really can get you some tight bends.
Well,
Uh,
then you know how it works. Then if you grab that end of that uniflow, you tilt it down. It changes the position of your
right.
tank, and without having to move it, which is kind of nice. Now, a lot of guys they'll build this tank and they'll want to use it, but the problem is the motor mounts.
Yeah.
If you got it 3/8 wide by 1/2 inch, okay, you can, once it goes through the main F1, the bulkhead there in the engine compartment, you can actually, I use a rotary. Anyway, I'll put a radius on there, and I'll go, if it's 1/2 inch, I'll go 1/4 inch and relieve 1/4 inch off there all the way back to the back of the fuel tank. And that way I could set that tank in there 1/4 inch higher behind the engine, which gives me a better chance of finding and setting the, the tank at zero, the uniflow at zero, uh, without having to be all the way to the bottom or all the way to the top, because it's sitting down so far. You figure how thick an RC plastic tank like this is, top to bottom, compared to a 1 inch hard tank. You know, you, what do you got? An inch and a half, 2 inches, and you got a 1 inch hard tank.
Yeah.
You can see that there could be some problems trying to get it to work, because you got it too darn low in the fuel tank area. But by relieving up and taking off that 1/4 inch off the bottom of the mounts there, now you can set it up a little higher, and it makes it work better.
Right. Yeah. John, I have a question on the diagram on the uniflow pipe. The part that's outside of the tank, would that be extended so that you can actually reach that in the inside the engine compartment? Would that
Yeah,
part?
you can do that.
Okay.
I actually found that coming off there at an angle about 45 degrees and making it long enough to be able to reach in there seems to work best for my big fat fingers, because
Okay.
I can reach in there and turn it. One of the things that I should point out, on the ends of the uniflow and on the ends of the overflow, you can actually make those a little shorter so they're not, and use a piece of fuel line tubing to bring it right up close to the wall, and it makes it easier to adjust, and not putting pressure on the tank wall.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I actually haven't done that, but I could do that easily because mine's on a profile, Brodak P40.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've used them almost exclusively on nearly all my airplanes. The only one I didn't use I used a hard uniflow on my Excalibur that I built and flew. But everything else has had this style tank on it. I've had, really good runs with it.
My new build, I'm actually thinking about making a custom uh, clunk tank, but it'd be, Bill Biles taught me how to make metal clunk tanks, and he just has, um, I don't think it's not a Uniflow. Hey, Bill, how are you doing today, Bill? Or this evening?
Okay.
Bill Biles is a good man and knows what he's doing, so.
Yeah, he definitely was a big help to me because I actually, my Nobler that I built, I couldn't get a big enough fuel tank because I was just using commercially available fuel tanks. And I was telling him how I couldn't get enough engine run with this plane I built. And he said, "Well, Charles, you're probably gonna need to make a tank." And and we kind of arranged on a day and a time. And I drove to his house, and he showed me how to. We actually built the tank, and I photographed it and made notes, and he showed me how to make one. And so I've made a lot of my own tanks as a result of Bill Biles, but most of them are like just a clunk tank. It's not a uniform, but they work excellent. I can't tell that I'm missing anything. Um,
Bill might have Bill might have got that. Might have been influenced by Ed Southwick, who was a
Oh,
good friend of his.
absolutely,
Huh?
absolutely.
And Ed Southwick was known for building clunk tanks on his Skylarks, metal clunk tanks. So that might have been, you know. Anyway, they do work well. And they aren't necessarily, like I say, they're not Uniflow. I just love the way the Uniflow runs, and I mean, with the muffler pressure on there, my engine does not change a beat until the Uniflow uncovers, and then I can tell when the Uniflow uncovers, I know I'm going to run out of fuel. So, and that usually is within a lap or so when I run out, when the engine stops.
Now, the one thing that's kind of unique about the tanks that Bill Biles has showed me is that it will use up every drop, and when it's out of fuel, it is an abrupt engine shut off. So
Yep, and that's the way it is.
fine because I've already done the 4-leaf clover and already got 2 clearing laps, but it's just you don't have any of that. We've seen other stunt ships when they don't know how to shut off and they just keep going on forever. Yeah, it
Yeah, that's
doesn't do that at
typical.
all.
That's typical for a clunk tank. The Uniflow, this RC Uniflow will run that way. It when it's done, there's not a drop of fuel left in there.
By the way, Eddie Sutter gave us a thumbs up. So
Oh, thank you, Eddie.
he gave us a thumbs up on the chat. I don't know if that's going to translate to a thumbs up on the video. I just want to clarify that.
Well, thanks
Eddie Sutter,
anyway.
if you mean it, go ahead and give us a thumbs up on the video. Appreciate the thumbs up in the chat. Appreciate it more on the video.
Well, one of the things about Uniflows is that there's a lot of information out there, and I would imagine that if you took 100 pilots, that you probably have 10, 15, maybe 20 different ways of setting up a Uniflow. And some work better than others.
Yeah, stunt is so, and I mean, saying it's complicated is the wrong word, but there's just so much aspects to trimming a stunt ship. I mean, from not only the way it flies, but the way the engine runs. It is absolutely amazing. I saw a video from Winnie Yanowski, and he talked about using a regular suction tank, using the Uniflow tank as a trim feature because if you need more power at the end of the pattern, then a regular suction tank might be a better fit for an individual as opposed to a regular conventional suction tank, which gives you the same engine run that you and I are talking about. I mean, excuse me, as a Uniflow tank would give you the same engine run that you and I are talking about, but the suction does speed up, and that could be advantageous for a particular plane.
Well, he's right. He's right. And the thing is, what are the cardinal rules of stunt? You got to start with a good design, or a design that has the capability of flying well. And then you got to build it, and you got to build it straight. You got to build it light, and then you got to make sure that everything is aligned properly so that you can get the best out of the design. Then comes you got to get a good solid engine run. If you don't have a good solid engine run, you can have the best airplane in the world, and you will have problems. You'll be fighting it. So that it's amazing once you get to that point. I remember, when I finally got to where I started getting solid engine runs, it was like somebody turned a switch on for me. It was so much easier because I knew I didn't have to fight the engine run. Now the engine was working for me. And once you got the engine run working, and I forget, there's one other thing in there, and I forget what it is.
You know what it is? Is rigid. Bob Hunt says it has to be a rigid airframe.
Yeah, yeah, because if it's wings are full of bending, on a positive and negative G loads, if it's if the stab is bending under G loads, things like that, you lose a lot.
Right. And by the way, Eddie Sutter explained the thumbs up was on the explanation.
Oh,
So,
thank you, then, Eddie.
so hopefully that warrants we still get a thumbs up for the video, Eddie. I'm still wanting that. If we can get that, that would be awesome.
Charles, take what you get.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just greedy, that's all.
Oh my goodness. So, Bill, what have you been doing?
Well, I was out. I flew my Viper again tonight, and I added some weight to the tail, and I think it might be too much. It seemed touchy now, and I went to 35 foot. I had some metal lines, then and it was still going fast, so I think 40 might be about right. And I had the one flight, and then I couldn't get the motor started. Well, it turns out it was my glow driver.
Oh,
So
happened to me before.
yeah. I flew my Buster this week too.
Oh, good. All right.
So probably got about 15 minutes now on the motor. We've been running it real rich, but what happened the first flight, or I flew it around a long time, and it was really rich, and I did a loop, and then it kind of leaned out, and then it went really fast for about 2 laps, and then it quit. And then I started again and richened it up and flew it around, and it was going pretty fast, and I did another loop, and then it got richer after that. So I'm wondering if my needle valve isn't turning some in the air. I pinched it some, but I just wonder why the settings change like that.
I've experienced that back in the past. That's what we were talking about earlier about good, consistent engine runs. But I don't recall what the problem was. There's about 3 or 4 different problems that can cause that. So it has to do with the tank. So it has to do with the needle valve, as you thought. And there's a couple other things that you can think about that'll cause that to happen. A lot of it is if for instance, it used to be some of the engines that I ran, I would get up in the air and it'd be going pretty fast, and so I'd just do a loop, and then it would settle down into the run that I wanted. And once it got it where it would do that and stay there, then I knew I was in good shape for the pattern. But it's probably still new.
Yeah.
Heating up and cooling down, and so you just need to keep after the break-in. You'll know as you're breaking it in that as it gets closer to break-in, you'll get more and more time out of the same amount of fuel.
Okay.
And
now, another thing,
when it stabilizes to where you're getting the same amount of time on that same amount of fuel all the time, you're pretty close to broken in, and you can pretty well fly it or whatever you want. What was your question?
well, I've left the muffler off thinking it wouldn't get as hot with it, but maybe it would run better if the muffler was on there. I don't know.
How much running have you got on it so far? How many?
Like about 15 minutes.
I'd probably leave the muffler off for another flight at least, and then I put the muffler on and be sure you make sure she's running rich, on not a fat 4-cycle, but on a 4-cycle when you launch, and see if it speeds up on you, in flight. Try that out, see what happens. What do you think, Carol?
I didn't hear everything that you said, Bill. I heard that after you did the loop, it went rich, but I didn't know what preceded that because unfortunately, I'm still getting used to watching the chat box and listening to what's going on, and so I don't know if I missed something in translation.
Well, it
I
seemed like
apologize.
the first flight after I did the loop, it leaned out some, but on the second flight after I did the loop, it richened up.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's
It might help to have the muffler on and use muffler pressure to the tank.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
Muffler pressure can be your friend. A lot of people don't like it, but in my experience has been that it's been my friend more often than not.
the one thing that comes to my mind is being that this plane is new and uh, the tank could be in the wrong position, you know, um, too. And it's like it's kind of hard. I know you're by yourself, Bill, but if someone could fly level upright and then fly level inverted, then we know we'd have the tank in the right spot. And it's kind of tough without knowing that. And that's
Hey, hey Charles, my dog's sitting here with his eyes
okay.
yellow. I got to take him out for a walk. I'll be back.
Okay, sounds good. Um, by the way, Jeff Riley has joined us. And, he says, I must be stuck in the 60s. I still build my own metal wedge tank style uniflow tanks, but then again, I do fly with Fox and McCoy 35. All that stuff still works, Jeff Riley. I mean, when I went out to VSC this year, I mean, that's what was out there was those Foxes and McCoy 35. So it's all still good. Yeah. Getting back to you, Bill. Um, yeah, that might just be like the motor still needs to break in.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so.
that sounds very typical of a motor that hasn't really settled in yet. I'm not really a motor expert per se. I do spend a lot of time fooling around fixing things, but that might just be something that will just improve over time.
And I think I can go to longer lines, the 52 feet, it's really going around pretty fast and it pulls well. I think that first time, when I tried it, I didn't give it enough run up, and that's the other thing I'm noticing. The plane, until it kind of gets, moving off the ground and that, it's still, the tension's not that great. Once it gets going, then the tension really kicks in.
Now, what engine are you running? I don't know if I got that.
Now I've got an OS 35 Stunt.
Oh wow, boy, that's a motor I'd love to have, Bill. I don't have one of those. Those are very highly coveted classic engines. They're really good. So, was it new or is it you just got it used or did you get it new or what?
No, it was new.
Okay, well, yeah, you probably need to break it in some. And
Oh yeah, you have 15 minutes on it. That's not broken in.
yeah, that's a really good motor. That's a real sweet motor.
Yeah.
It takes about on the OS 35. I recall it took about an hour before it was really comfy.
Wow.
Now, what prop are you using on that OS Max 35S?
I think it's a Master Air Screw 10.6.
10.6. You can probably run a 10.5 on it. Probably be happier
Okay.
if you can find one. That is.
Yeah, you gotta try. Yeah, try what Peter's saying. That's a good idea. It's just new. Just give it time. But once you get the motor running somewhat good, you're gonna want to try to find. This is what I do, Bill. This might not be the best thing, but this is what I do. I try to get that motor happy. I mean, it'll just have a different sound, and you'll know that you got the right RPM and all that. Now, once I establish that, then I will go for the lap time. I want to get around 5.2 second lap time, and that's a matter of, for the most part, the length of the lines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I do. But it's all about getting that engine where it's happy, and I just adjust it around it. Sometimes it's a little different prop that'll make it happy, So, but we're talking about at that point that's a real fine tuning. But you want to just get that motor running in the air, um, and see where it sounds happy, and then adjust the line length accordingly, and then try a variety of 10.6 props, 10.5 props. Now, when I was at VSC, I was flying a 38-ounce Olympic with a OS Max S with a Reva 10.6. Now that's not easy to obtain.
Mhm.
Reva 10.6. I mean, if you find someone who has one, that's the other half of the battle would be to get them to part with it, and especially if it's a Rev Up 10.6 wide, which is even another highly coveted prop. Um, but whatever. Actually, I want to try some Zor 10.6 props or Zor 10.5, and Zor is a beautiful prop, by the way, and they're readily available. Usually, most hobby stores don't carry them, but you can get them at Tower Hobbies or other retailers online, and even some eBay sellers on eBay sell brand new Zor, XOAR, and these props come with a beautiful finish, and for a wood prop, they actually come pre-balanced. I mean, surprisingly, compared to any other prop out there, APC that's an extruded pipe. I mean, extruded plastic, so it comes out pretty well balanced. But wooden props usually aren't balanced, but these Zor props are really, really close. So if you can find a Zor 10, wouldn't be surprised that it was like a 10.5 prop. The Zor props, all my Zor props, whatever I had in a Zinger or Top Flight, I'm talking about wooden props, by the way. When I went to the Zor, I had to go down a pitch. So maybe you might be happier. And the Zor props are a little bit more expensive than your, uh, you know, uh, but they're worth it. They're absolutely beautiful. They have a beautiful finish as well. So I would try that.
Right now, I quite suggest that you stick with your APC or your nylon based props because you're one thing about wood props, especially if you're flying off of grass and you're flying by yourself, they know if they tip over on takeoff or they nose in, you're putting another prop on. So it's kind of like
That's a good idea, Peter.
the nice aspects about wood props is you can turn around and they're not so easy to repitch, but they're nice and light, but they're real easy to balance and they're nice and light. But like I said, if you nose over in grass, you're losing a prop blade. There's just no question about it.
Yeah, Bill,
So
listen to Peter because I'm not saying I don't crash anymore, but I hardly ever. I think I haven't crashed in like I don't know 4 years or so, and I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of flights on most of my planes. So wooden props is not a problem for me, but for someone else who might have who's learning how to fly or learning how to do the pattern, you're going to go through props. So that probably
then
be something to be aware of.
there's the other tip of if you're using a wood prop, when you mount the prop on the airplane, turn the crankshaft by hand until it reaches maximum compression when the prop is at is parallel to the ground. Don't
Right.
stick it up here. Don't tighten up down here. When it gets to maximum compression, place the prop like that, and that's where you tighten it. Because this way, when your engine quits at the end of a run, if you have it set like this, the prop is more than likely going to end up sitting like this when you land. If you set it like
Makes
this,
sense.
it would be parallel to the ground. Another way to avoid breaking a prop.
That's another good suggestion. Those things I just forget about because I've been doing those things for such a long time. They're automatic. I don't even think about it. But that's a good suggestion for you, Bill, too, how to put the prop on in that position. Jeff
Yeah, I
Riley.
think it's more important with the wood props than with the nylon props, but you learn that the hard way. You know, when you even these days, I mean, Zinger, I think their 10-6 props are running for about $3 a pop. It's, you know, I mean, how many props are you going to bring to the field?
Hey,
Yeah.
Charles, can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
I'm here. I've been here for a little while.
I can barely hear you. Your volume is low. I don't know if I have the means to turn it up individually.
I got it full blast now. Is that better?
Okay. It's a little. I still hear you. It's just quieter, but that's okay. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, Bill. I was listening to your prop conversation there. If that's a brand new 35, I think a 6-pitch prop is too much to be breaking it in on. You should be breaking it in on a 5 or maybe even a 4. As far as, I would think the 10.5 would be optimal, but you could probably even go up in length to 10.5, 4 would be more desirable. I think you're working the engine too hard. You said it was getting really, really hot. Part of that could be because you're over pitched and it's not.
Oh, that was the Fox that was getting so hot, but
the 5 was getting hot. Okay.
when I had the Fox in there, it was getting hot.
Oh, the Fox was getting hot. Okay. Well, I would go with a 5 pitch, not a 6.
Okay.
And then even go up in length and go down to a 4. That motor will probably run pretty happy on an 11.4 narrow blade prop, like a Zinger or something like that. And if it's too much, just take a half inch off it. Take it down to the 10.5, 4.
And was that video that you posted, was that at normal speed?
Yeah.
Okay, because I counted I timed the laps, and when it was leaned out, it was getting about 3-second lap.
Whoa! That's a little fast, Bill. That's a little fast.
Bill, another thing you might do if you've got a test stand is put it on a test stand and put 30 minutes on it on a stand.
Yeah.
You know,
30 minutes an hour.
And let me interrupt. Jeff Riley had this comment a while back. So Jeff said that when he had a problem with an OS, it turned out to be too much nitro. So how much nitro are you running, Bill?
10% with 29% castor oil.
That should be okay.
That should be good.
Yeah.
That's too much castor oil. That's what you use on a Fox. OS doesn't need that much castor. In fact, I'd run 1022 with it with it 50% castor, 50% synthetic. And
it should be 22 to 25.
And Mike's right about prop. That was the other thing I couldn't remember what it was when we were talking. The prop, you need a break-in prop on it. A lot of times when you break them in, you go down to a 9-inch pitch. You don't want to load not a 9-inch pitch, a 9-inch diameter and a 5 or 6 pitch, and break it in there. You don't want to run in blubbery rich because it's not heating up enough to break in. But you want it. You want to maintain the heat at the right. There are a lot of good things going on in breaking in an engine, right?
Oh, there is a lot. Because I think it's more important to let the engine cool off and then run it again. It's not so much, in my opinion, the length of time that it runs. Like I wouldn't necessarily run an engine for a straight 30 minutes.
Right.
I'd want to cycle the engine 30 times if I could, as opposed to running it 30 minutes. Cycle and being that it gets warm, I'll let it cool down, get back to where I can touch it and handle it. It's basically cool for all intent and purposes. Then run it again, get it up to operating temperature, let it cool down, and then again just cycle that over and over and over again. That's how I operate in motor.
Charles, you're right about that. There's something to be said for heat cycles, and even Randy Smith stresses that. He says to get them running in a fast 4, and every 30 seconds, pinch the fuel line, lean it out, let it run for 5 seconds, lean, let it up, let it cool down in a fast four again. And then you don't even have to run it for 10 minutes. You run it for 3 minutes that way, and then let it cool down and do it again. It's the cycles of the heating and cooling. But I think it's important to not run it sloppy rich. You want to run it, rich in a four, but you got to pinch that fuel line, clean it out, and get some heat built up in the motor. And then when you let the fuel line off, it'll cool down again.
Absolutely right, Mike. And 10 3-minute runs with the cooling in between is your 30-minute run time right there.
Yeah.
And you're doing it right.
Yeah. Bill, have you read Randy's engine setup tips on Stunt Hangar? He's got a whole section in there in the engine tips. They're posted right to the top. It would probably behoove you to read Randy's write-up on fuel selection for what kinds of motors you run and break-in tips for those motors. It's all right there. It's pinned to the top. Randy Smith wrote the articles. I would start there. He's got advice on breaking in, steel piston liners, breaking in AAC, ABC, because they're all different. They all are different on how you break them in, and all different on fuel and oil content, really.
Yep.
And prop size too. The prop size, I think you're running too big of a prop with too much pitch on a brand new motor. It'll be happier that, Charles was talking about make your motor happy. It's not happy right now because it's brand new, and I think you're overworking it with that prop.
Okay.
Well, you can got a whole lot of homework now, Bill.
Yeah.
Speaking of motors, I got something here for Charles to look at just because I want to make him squirm a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
And that's an Aero Tiger, buddy.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, that's wow.
That's
Yeah.
an Aero.
Yeah, I'm actually moving in my seat, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's I saw that the other day, first thing in the morning. I was like second one to look at the post. I was like, I'll take it. He had two of them for sale. He had a used one and a new one. I bought the new one. This one's
But how much are they going for? I mean, it's a lot of money.
They're not.
$282 is what I paid for it,
Wow.
which is Randy's price plus it had both mufflers with it. So it had a tongue muffler and a regular. So it was normal price. Randy was charging $250 for them, I think, or $240, something like that. So $280 was shipping. It was it was normal price. It was retail price. It wasn't a deal, but I didn't get gouged either. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just even having one, I mean, is just great. I mean, and to pay market value, that's fine. I mean,
where else are you going to get one,
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to rub it in, but that brings my total up to 3 Aero Tigers now.
Ouch.
Yeah. I know. You got some nice motors. We got to have a show on motors one day.
Well, I've got stalkers. So
yeah, I know. That's why I said you're the man on Stalker, not me. I only got 2 Stalkers, and they're all 81s. But yeah, you're the man. You got a variety. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna say it because you might go buy it. I'm just be quiet there.
Now wait a minute.
No.
No.
I could call you. I could call you, John, or you can call me.
Oh, all right.
I'm not going to go out in public.
It took me a year and a half, but I finally scraped together 8 PAs. So
wow.
I got 2 of everything now.
Wow.
Except the 51s. I don't have 50. 240s, 261s, 265s, and 275s. And I'm acquiring pipes and headers and props for all of them. I don't have all that for all of them, but I'm pretty close. I'm getting there. Every time I get a little extra money, I give Randy a call and I'll order another pipe and a couple of props or something like that. That's how we do it. I mean, because I got back in this hobby about 17 years ago. When I first got back into it, all I had was the engines I had as a kid. Right. Me too.
It's
bunch of old crap boxes.
Yeah, you just it just took some time. I mean, now that I'm not crashing, it's okay now to invest in something like that. But yeah, I got, I very limited fixed income, but I'm really blessed to have what I have. I have more engines than I need, and I have a lot of engines. I don't want to try to even compete with Mike or other people, but I have a lot. I'm blessed. I'm very
Yeah,
fortunate.
now that I've got these 3 Aero Tigers, I think I'm going to ditch all my Thunder Tiger 36s that I have. I've got
Right.
4 of those.
See, I have 3 of those. I have 3 Thunder Tigers,
Yeah,
but they're not
I've
an
got.
Aero Tiger.
They're not an Aero Tiger, and I don't need them. I don't need 4 Thunder Tigers if I've got 3 Aero Tigers. So
No,
I think I'm
you don't need.
listing those pretty soon.
No, you don't need them. Yeah.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
I was impressed with the old warhorse that was given to Sam, the old legacy there.
Well, actually, that one's mine, and I was just getting ready to show it here.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
get it out and show it. I
There it
want
is.
no, I worked with Alan Brickhouse over the phone. We designed that airplane over the phone.
Wow.
Okay.
Amazing.
So yeah, this was given to me at the Nats. Kenny Stevens built this airplane, I don't know, 20 years ago, and flew it for a while, and then he gave it to Wes Eakin, and Wes Eakin flew it for several years, and Wes called me up and said, "Do you want a legacy set up for a PA 61?" He said she's beat to hell and doesn't look real pretty, but it's light and it's straight and it flies good. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. So he brought it to the Nats, and I just put a PA 61 and a pipe and a tank in it yesterday, and
Nice.
all up, it's 63 ounces all up.
Oh, nice. Oh, very
Very
nice.
nice.
As it sits. It doesn't have a cowl. There's no cowl for it.
That's okay.
But
That cowl is easy to make if you want to make one.
I'm not going to mess around with that. I mean, she's an old war horse, man. There's, the wing was punched one time, so it had a bunch of packing tape on it. I stripped all that off and I fixed all the holes with fast cal. I put fast cal on it and then shrunk it up with an iron. So
Hey,
it's the
that
skin.
wing was built with a lost. That wing was built with a lost foam setup.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got the Warren Truss ribs in it.
Yeah, like I said, I bet this was something back in the day when it was brand new. But I expect it to fly well. Like everything's straight on it, and it's light. 63 ounces is not a pig at all. So
No, that's going to be a good flying plane. I mean,
I was
63
hoping to
ounces,
go.
that size.
I was hoping to go fly it today, but we had weather. We had bad thunderstorms rolling through all day. So maybe Sunday I'll get out and get a chance. And I'm hopeful that it works out well, and I can take it to Canton, the Canton contest, and that'll be my Pierre airplane at Canton. Because if it doesn't, I'm going to have to get off my butt and get that SD11R put together before Canton, which I'm not really motivated to do. So I'm hoping this free airplane works out for me.
Well, I still have my first legacy, and it was set up for a Docker 61, and it was one where I was beginning to learn how to trim better. And when I finally got it in trim was when I wound up replacing it with something else. But it was an old campaigner. It flew well. I enjoyed it. You should enjoy that one just as much as I enjoyed mine, because they are. Alan designed a really good airplane on that. It was fun working with him when we did it. I say we designed it. My part of the design was to talk to him on the phone, do what he, understand what he wanted. And then I made a few suggestions and we talked about it, but it was Alan's design all along the road, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I shouldn't have any problems with the engine or anything like that. That's the package that I had in the SV22, and it ran pretty good. I didn't have any issues with that. The pipe was set up right. It does have a brand new tank in it. I got brand new 6.5 ounce Uniflow in there, which I made sure I cleaned out and flushed real well. So hopefully it'll be flip and fly. And like I said, Wes said it's already trimmed out and it flies. Actually, Wes told me he made top 20 with this airplane a few years ago with no appearance points at the Nats.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a lot. That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
And if any of you guys, if you know Kenny and you've seen any of his airplanes, man, he's a great builder. I think he was the one of 3 airplanes in the 18-point row at appearance judging. I think there was 2 at 19 and 3 at 18, and Kenny's brand new airplane was one of those airplanes, the yellow one, if you remember.
well, we're looking forward. I'm looking forward to your flight reports on it when you get it out. So, but take note.
I haven't flown a pattern since last year. I've only flown combat this year.
It's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
I flew a combat plane today, Mike.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I'm all my planes need something to do or something with them, and I don't feel like spending time working on the old planes. I want to spend my time working on my new plane. So I was meeting a friend of mine at the flying field. He flies exclusively combat planes. So I went out there with. I know you'd recognize it, but it's the trailing edge is kind of carbon fiber and it's an arc, and then the it's not the bird type of the one with all the elevator where it actually has a I'm probably better showing you. Anyways, it's a good combat plane, and I had a
so it's an elliptical wing because it's got a curved carbon fiber edge. Does it have a boom on it, or is it a Wackerman where the elevator is right on the wing?
It's kind of like a Wackerman, but it's not as wide as some of them I've seen. It's kind of narrow.
Okay.
I think it's the older design compared to the newer one, which is a wider Wackerman kind of a thing. But it flies good.
What engine is on it?
It's an ASP 25.
ASP 25. Okay, on a bladder, running on a
Yeah,
bladder.
on the bladder. Yeah.
Yeah, the bladder setups are nice, aren't they, man?
It's fun.
Hit them and go, man. You know.
It was fun. It was a nice change of pace, and I was happy I was out there.
So that's a speed limit plane, and it's probably set up to run about 75 or 80 miles an hour, I'm sure.
Yeah.
With the 25 on it. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good, comfortable speed, man. You should start flying patterns with it, Charles.
You know what? I'm working on it. I mean, I haven't tried a triangle yet or a square. I've done, loops and figure eights and four-leaf clovers.
I tell you what they're really great for, and have been an excellent training tool for Sam, is in the vertical 8 and the overhead 8. They're great. Combat planes are great for that, even though they're going fast. But they've got that line tension, and they will stay out there. They are not coming in at you.
Yeah.
They'll stay there no matter where you put them in the circle. And even if you get off the wind line and you're in the wrong place with a stunt plane, you're going to crash. But with a combat wing, you're not going to. So that extra tension, that just gives you the confidence to pull the airplane through the maneuvers. So I think it's beneficial to fly combat wings and do stunt pattern maneuvers with them. I practice my reverse wingovers with combat planes. Just drive them straight around and try to pull out before I hit the dirt. That's why I'm not afraid to do it with a big PA-65 stunt ship.
Absolutely.
It's a confidence builder for sure.
Absolutely. But going from whatever lap time I had today, I don't know what it was, from 5.2 down to what it was today, it's quite an adjustment.
Yeah, you're probably a speed plane like that is probably doing 3-second laps, 3.2 seconds per lap.
Yeah.
It's 6.8 for 2 laps is 75. So if he's got that set up for speed limit, you're probably looking 3.2, 3.4 per lap.
Yeah, that takes a little to get used to. At first you're trying to keep up, and then you finally get up and you settle in, and then you're doing maneuvers. But I still haven't done the other ones yet. But I know of people like yourself who've done the whole pattern on a speed limit combat plane.
Yeah, and let me give you another little tip, Charles. When you're doing that, You don't have to spin around fly level laps. What you
Right.
want to do is just plant your feet, get the airplane downwind, do your maneuver, come over to the other side of the circle, and just do a wing over the top, pull out, and then set up for another maneuver. And you never have to turn around in a circle because that can be hard if you're flying a stunt pattern that fast. You're spinning around and then stop. You're like, whoa, or the reverse, so
Yeah,
inverted.
whoa, I can relate to that.
So just plant your feet and fly everything in front of you. When you're done with the maneuver, come over the top, pull out here, and you're already set up, standing, facing where you want to be.
Good idea.
And just got to remember, if once you do 4 or 5 wing overs, crank out like 4 or 5 outsides real quick to get your line straightened out again, and then just keep going. I rarely make a full turnaround when I'm flying a combat wing. I just fly from here to here. I never turn my body. I just keep my body. Who wants to spin around that fast? Not me.
Yeah. Speaking of combat flyers, what amazes me is, I consider myself a stunt flyer, not a combat flyer. So any sort of hiccup, any sort of misstep in the motor, I stop doing maneuvers. But combat people, they just keep going. They just they never stop doing maneuvers.
Yeah, it's hard to hurt those airplanes. Anything short of a midair. A midair is what destroys them. But you can drive them straight into the ground at 75 miles an hour, and sometimes you don't even break a prop.
Yeah, they're
tough.
pretty.
Russian airframes are tough.
Yeah, that engineering that they put into them is amazing. I've seen them. I've seen those planes, whap, hit the ground, maybe break a prop, maybe not, and it's up in the air again. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, at the Nats, when you was judging the airplanes, do you remember judging the ballerina?
Was it silver?
I don't know. I just heard someone, I think Sparky mentioned he saw the ballerina, and
if I saw a picture of it, I would probably remember the airplane.
Well, it's got twin rudders on it.
Yeah, I know what a ballerina is, but I'm
Yeah.
not or anything like that.
Well, maybe he didn't fly it. Maybe.
Yeah, whose airplane was it?
I don't know. I just heard it mentioned, and I was curious
Okay.
what you thought of it.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at the picture. Do you know what row it ended up in? If it was
No,
15.
because I was looking at that, trying to pick out a plane, and
yeah.
Maybe Peter can find it. He has all the pictures of the appearance judging.
I don't know. I just was wondering if somebody was mad at me, if they thought they should have got more points or something.
No, I'm just curious.
We talked about the appearance judging a couple weeks ago when Bob was on. And, that was in the back of my head when you're judging like that. You're like, man, I really hope somebody doesn't get cheesed off at me and take something personally, But like I said, most of the guys said everything ended up right where it was supposed to be. So, and, even Bob said it was a perfect bell curve if you looked at the airplanes and where they were all lined up. I feel good about what we did. There was some pretty ones for sure. And there were some not so pretty ones.
Yeah,
sure.
I bet.
And there was a lot of average stuff,
So
How you doing, Mike?
Go ahead, Tom.
I was just gonna say, tell John I took that spacer out of the motor on the Navigator, so it's back to positive, like 2.5 to 3 degrees up thrust, and I flew it this week, and it took. One thing, it was a windier day, so I was taken off into the wind, so that may have affected it also. And I also reduced the diameter of the prop and increased the pitch, but it took off like so fast, it was unbelievable. It just jumped off the water.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've got a video on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I stuck it on the chat, the video chat box. If you want to look it up.
What diameter did you wind
Bill
up?
got to see it.
Yeah.
What diameter did you wind up with on the prop?
I think it's a 8.45 8 diameter and 4.5 pitch.
Excellent.
It's electric motor. So
Right.
But that's a big airplane.
yeah, 67-inch
Yeah.
wingspan, but it's really light.
What's up, Len?
Hey, how you doing, Mike? You gonna save me a couple of bags of props?
You betcha, man.
All right, I will set.
I got him sitting on the workbench in a Ziploc baggie with your name on him right there.
Awesome. I will send you the money. Perfect.
No. Don't do that. Just you can pay me when you see me at a contest
All right.
somewhere. Give me a. I'll go out for a
That'd
steak.
be awesome. Okay, that'd be awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, no
So you have
worries.
props
No
for
worries.
sale, Mike?
Yeah, I got another batch of the Rev Up 12.5s. Do you remember I had a bunch for sale
Yeah.
a few months ago?
Yeah.
We talked about them. They were the drone props that Rev Up made for the military. And so this guy, I had bought 200 of them from him, and I sold pretty much all of those on Stunt Hangar. I kept 2 bags for myself and sold the rest. The guy reached out to me a couple of weeks ago, and he says, I think I might have some more of those. Would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he contacted me back, and I got another 300 of them.
Awesome. Wow.
Anybody need 12.5 reps?
They're great props.
So the
They're the
drone
wide
props
blade.
are different than the other ones, or how are they different?
They're just not branded. They're just not. They don't have the Rev Up logo. Hang on a second. I'll show you.
They don't need the logo to work good.
So
No, they
they're,
don't.
you know, usually got a big Rev Up logo here on the blade,
Right.
and there's no logos on them. So what you get is some of them have a logo on the hub. It says Rev
Okay.
Up 12.5.
I've seen those on eBay.
And then there are others that have no logo at all on them.
That's
They're
okay.
definitely, I mean, they're Rev Up 12.5s is what they are. And they, you know, Rev Up made them for the military drones that they flew them on 60s or something like that with they were big foam MiG looking things with 60 size motors, and they were target drones. They blow them out of the sky. So Rev Up probably made, and knowing the government probably ordered 1 million of the damn props. And then they showed up at swap meets in the late 90s, 2000s. Guy bought them from military surplus. So, and that's where this guy had gotten them, was military surplus. And I asked around on the first batch, and a few guys told me, like, yeah, that is a great prop for like a Super Tiger 60. That's a great prop for the LA 46 if you cut it down to 11. So I took a chance and bought the first 200, and they sold out so quick. I didn't balk at the opportunity to buy another 300 of them. So
Wow. Maybe I'll have to get some from you.
yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
I got them.
All righty.
They're really,
Got plenty.
they're really good Tiger 51 prop too.
Oh, wow. See, I have some Tiger 51s.
Oh yeah.
Just as is. Man.
As
You don't
is.
need to cut 'em.
No, don't even touch them. Just stick them on and go.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been running them on all of Sam's Tom Dixon LA 46s here since I got them. Just cut down to 11. I tried 11.5, but that was too much. But cut down to 11, it's a perfect prop for the LA 46.
Right on the money.
Yeah, I'm not even screwing around. I was running the Thunder Tiger, the Cyclone 11.5, 4.5, and he was breaking all those. I almost ran out of them. And then the other one was the APC 1225 375. But I think this Rev Up cut down to 11 is superior to both of those props on the 46.
Oh yeah.
And this time, I'm going to hold back probably 50 for myself out of this batch.
Good thinking. You won't be able to get any more. That's good.
Exactly. And you know,
I'll text you about those. You sell them by the bag?
It's on Stunt Hangar in the classified.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a dozen of them.
$30 for a bag of 10, which is $3 a prop. I didn't think that was unreasonable. And then if you buy 2, I knock it down to $25 a bag, so $50 for 2 bags.
Okay, I'll take 2 bags.
You know, and because you know, I gotta. Not that I'm trying to get rich off them or make a bunch of money, but I had to make sure I was going to cover my investment.
Oh,
I laid out
absolutely.
quite a
And that's
bit
not
to get these things.
$3 a prop is a bargain.
That's what I thought, especially for something you can't buy anymore, and you may never see again. You
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't have no problem with that. Hey, you guys, Jack Snavely, he says, I don't know what he's saying. It's some emojis. Then night guys like listening, thumbs up. Maybe he's saying good night.
Sounds like that.
Yeah.
Lightweight.
It's a happy face with glasses. And then right after that, it says night. So I imagine it's good night, guys. Like listening. Thanks, Jack Snavely. If you're done, thank you very much for joining our show. Appreciate it.
So, did you host tonight to see if it works better for Rusty? Is that?
Yeah, I'm just helping Rusty out right now. We'll
Did it
see what
help?
happens because he has a trip coming up in August. So that's probably three shows for sure I'll cover. And
Okay.
yeah, so just getting training and
Did it help him though with it kicking him out or him being a minute behind and stuff or not?
well, he's not even on the tell, so he's not. I don't think he's here.
I see a thing says Rusty, but it's
I just see an R. I don't know who it is.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's Rusty.
it's Rusty.
That's Rusty.
That's
He went to
Rusty.
eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
He
Rusty,
left
tell
me
us.
dinner. Said he'd be back, but
Guess what? I don't know, but I mean, Rusty has a lot of shows. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of shows he has, so he could use a break or a reprieve at least. You know.
Hey, Charles,
How
Yeah.
do you recognize a ballerina?
I'm gonna bump in here again because since Len just got on, I want to show him this legacy.
Oh, okay. Let's have a look.
Juno.
So Kenny Stevens built that 20 years ago. Then Wes Eakin flew it for a while. Wes gave it to me, the Nats, and I just put a PA-61 in it.
Nice.
It's
Beautiful.
it's an old Warhorse, Len. She's got a lot of patches on it, but it's
That's
light,
okay.
straight.
Oscar.
All up,
Hey,
all up, 63 ounces.
that's a great weight. That'll be a good flyer for you, Mike.
I hope so. I'm
yeah.
hoping to I'm hoping to take it to Canton in a couple of weeks, so I don't
Good
have to
stuff.
be up against the wall trying to build this SV11R.
No,
Get it
exactly.
together.
Oh, that's awesome. Good stuff.
Well, hopefully some test flights.
Green.
Okay.
Every
We got-
now and
we got
again,
rain.
you just need an airplane.
Right. Yeah. You gotta have something.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Is that a pipe? You got a pipe on it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's good. Randy's actually sending me a pipe for my PA right now. So I'm waiting for it. That's awesome.
He's ready to go. No cowl.
Good stuff.
It didn't come with a cowl because it got
Ah.
destroyed, so I'm not gonna build one. And I don't have.
No, you don't need one.
I don't care.
It'll be fine. Good stuff.
So is that your lightest big stunt ship you have, Mike?
That's the only big stunt ship I have.
So it's the lightest big stunt ship you have, then. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
it is. The answer was yes.
Yeah. all the other ones are in the land.
That's good.
No, I do have. I've got the SV11R to put together, and then I do have something I haven't mentioned yet. And I went and picked it up the week before the Nats. Sam and I drove down to Tom Morris's shop down in Alabama. I had Tom build me an SV11. One of Tom Morris's SV11s in raw ball.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So how is Tom doing?
It won't be BOM legal. I can't claim it as mine unless I want to build a fuse for it on my own. But I paid him to build the whole airplane. I mean, I got everything, and it's all in raw balsa, like not covered like that. I've got
That's awesome.
And I'm on the fence. I might use the wing and build my own fuse, and then I could be compliant. But part of me just wants to get it together and fly the damn thing. So we'll see. I've gotten it that I'll build for BOS, so I'm not too concerned about that because I don't see me entering the Nats anytime soon in the next year or two anyway. So the BOS doesn't mean much. But Tom's amazing. If any of you guys have ever seen the video or been down there, he has just a great workshop, and they build 5 at a time. Whatever they're doing, he builds 5 at a time. He's guys
That's awesome.
and ladies from his church group in there, and they crank them out, man. I think he had 17 of his electric ringmasters all in a rack, ready for covering, and he's selling those things like hotcakes, man.
That's phenomenal. That's awesome.
I'm going to mute you, Peter. So you're standing and just can barely hear Mike.
But,
hey, Mike.
Yeah, nice guy, nice shop. A lot of neat, tools for building in there, and just
cool.
Airplane before, man. He probably had 30 airplanes in there under construction.
That's amazing.
A lot of big stunt ships too. A lot of big stunt ships. Of course, he built a lot of wings for people. People that want to do their own fuses and stuff. But I went ahead and did the whole package. I just had him basically build me the whole airplane. So.
Well, he has all the equipment. He's just a building machine.
He is. Yeah,
he loves building. That's his passion. So how is Tom doing?
Hey, Mike.
Tom, so you look good and healthy and everything?
He looked good. Yeah, he looked real good.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
Awesome. That's great news.
What were you going to ask, Len?
Oh, yeah. I watched Sam's flight on video at the Nats, and I wanted to tell you and him I thought he flew very well until he had the little mishap. He flew very well. His flight looked phenomenal.
Will posted the crash video too?
I saw the video, yeah, and the flight was really a good flight for him until the mishap happened. So tell him I said he flew really well. Great job.
Okay. And
don't worry about it.
That second flight was actually a little worse than the first one that he got in his.
No, it was the one I saw was the first one, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he ended up with like a 420 on that, and he was right in there with the other juniors. And then his second, actually his third flight, because the first one I stopped him because it was running rich. He just took an attempt.
Oh, okay. All right.
Second flight, he burned one in. Third flight, he crashed in the clover.
Oh, that's the one I saw. Sorry, it was the one that had the crash, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyway, he flew really well.
Split the case wide open, man. There was engine parts everywhere. Nice Tom.
Oh, well.
6 in about 8 pieces. But
well, if you're gonna do it right.
Yeah, I checked all the internals, though. Everything's good on it, and so I'm gonna take the guts and put them in another case.
Good stuff.
Because the crank got bent, so. But it's got Tom's piston and liner with his little mod on it, so we'll put that one in another one. And then, Sam was given a couple airplanes too. Dick gave him a couple of more show times, and I've already got motors on those, so hopefully we'll get to go fly those Sunday as well. Watt Moore, a bunch of airplanes for the beginner prize table, and Sam picked a Galaxy out of there, so we got twin Galaxies. Wow. And then we snatched a Flight Streak as well, and that Watt built, and we're taking it to the Canton contest for this guy named Randy Burt. He's posted on Stunt Hangar a few times. He's more active on the Facebook control line page, but he's got like an 8-year-old that just started flying, and he's been smacking a few airplanes in. So we're going to give him a Flight Streak of ours. We're going to give him the Flight Streak that Watt Moore built, and this one has a brand new Brodax 25 on it, and also Sky Ray kit. So we're going to bring him 3 airplanes and just
good for you. That's awesome.
We had there was a guy there, a pylon guy was there that had a bunch of John Gibson stuff, and John Gibson was a North Carolina combat guy. He was part of the Huntersville gang. Rusty knows him. He passed away a few months ago, and this guy had a bunch of John's gear and was selling it John left his estate to the ASPCA, to the dog people. So all the proceeds from the sale of his models are going to go to ASPCA.
Cool.
But he had like 5 Skyray kits. So I bought 2 of those. I think Will Davis bought 2 of them as well. And he had all of his Cafe combat gear and a few motors. And me and Ron Colombo bought all of it. We bought all the airplanes and all the motors, and we split the cost and then divvied up the airplanes and engines.
Good stuff.
So, yeah, not like we needed it. We didn't really need the gear, but it was John's stuff, and it's going to a good cause. So we went and picked everything up.
Good stuff.
So hopefully Canton, if Canton goes off, we're going to make this kid happy. He's going to be stoked, and he'll be excited to get some new airplanes. And oh, we got one for Liam Barry too. We're going to give Derek's son Liam. We got a nice little Vampire, another Watt Moore built airplane that Watt gave to Sam about 3 years ago. It's got an FP20 on it, and everybody knows what the Vampire is, the little old-time stunt. It's a good little airplane, and Sam's flown it a few times, but he's outgrown it, so we're going to pass that on to Liam.
That's awesome.
Let
Good
Liam
stuff.
have it. We need to start thinning the herd here. Sam is on the cusp of really being able to fly good models. We don't need Flight Strix and Ringmasters and stuff like that anymore.
Right.
They just get in the way when you get too many of them.
They are.
They get in the way when you get too many.
There's a couple of kids that are coming up. They need airplanes. So
That's right. That's awesome.
I
wish we had that here.
So many people gave Sam so much stuff. It's time to pass some more on, and it's good to see a couple of new kids getting in it.
That's great. Good job. It just went to
Say
silent.
good night, guys.
Hey,
Hey,
Tom.
All right, Tom.
Thanks for coming in.
Tom.
Appreciate it very much.
All right.
Yeah, I got to get out of here too. We're hitting the lake early tomorrow, so Mama wants a boat day. So I was scrambling today to get everything ready and get my mowing done in between thunderstorms and picking up the boat in between thunderstorms.
Wow.
You better treat her right, Mike. She treats you good.
Darn right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she does. She treated me good last night, man, for my birthday. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
21?
What do I want? Oh, I got it already, man. I got it. We not to go way off topic, but we had a nice dinner out at a Brazilian steakhouse. Have any of you guys ever
Awesome.
eaten at a Brazilian steakhouse?
Yeah.
So you just sit down at a table and they give you this little shaker thing. It's green on one side and red on the other. If you leave it green, they just start bringing meat to your table. They're walking around with it on these big giant swords. They've got beef, pork, chicken, all different kinds of meat and seafood. And they put the sword down on the table and they start hacking meat off. Stop. And let me tell you, it was a culinary delight, man.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. So if any of you guys ever get a chance to go to a Brazilian style steakhouse, I strongly recommend it.
You got me. I may have to go get something to eat.
It was reasonable. It was like $45 a person. You just pay a flat fee. Don't pay.
That's cool. You eat all you want.
Instead of usually I'll get a 20-ounce steak or something when I go somewhere, and it's $40 or $50. This way you get a little bit of everything. A little taste of everything.
Cool.
Yeah, it was nice. Highly recommend it.
Wow.
We still don't know who our mystery guest is there.
Yeah, I don't know who it is either. Our mystery guest just
All we see is a body shape,
hit
nothing
your
else.
mic and hit your camera so we can see you. I don't think
Be curious.
Yeah, I seen Sparky was on a video tonight. Did he say why he's been gone for a couple weeks or anything?
Yeah, I learned when I texted him a couple days ago that he's just been working a lot of crazy shifts.
Oh, okay.
It might be they they're trying to beat the heat. I think so. He's working really early in the morning. I think I'm just guessing.
Yeah, he
I don't know
was.
if it's certain, but I know it's just a crazy work shift.
2 o'clock in the morning, I think he said. Somewhere
Oh,
about
okay.
there.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to show you guys something.
Right, guys,
All
I'm
right.
out. I'll see you. Hopefully,
All right,
I'll
Mike.
give you a flex
All right.
Bye, Mike.
on Monday.
Night,
Yeah,
Mike.
Mike.
Take it easy, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, it was about 8 years ago, 9 years ago, I got electrocuted. One of the things that happened out of that was my hands, I've got very little feeling in my fingertips in my hands.
Right.
And this morning I made myself a breakfast burrito, you know,
Right.
and it was pretty hot. And I picked up, look at those fingertips.
Oh my
Whoa.
God.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. Let me click on you, John. Hang on. Oh man, I'm so
You better
sorry.
go to the doctor.
No, I don't feel a thing. What it is I'll let them shrink down by themselves. This is not the first time this has happened, but it's just one of those things. You know, I hope when I'm flying that I'll be able to feel my handle the way I used to. You know,
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
but
Oh, that
Get
sucks,
one of
John.
those handheld temperature things so you can kind of like see what the temperature is before you touch
Yeah,
it.
you got to be careful with stuff for now.
well,
For sure.
what I got to do is fix my breakfast earlier so I'm not so dang hungry when I get it done that I grab it. I mean, I love a breakfast burrito. I make, you know, I've got my own recipe for it, and and I get it done. I'm ready to eat it. I mean, right now I'll grab that thing. I can't feel any pain on there, so I'll hold it up and, you know, try to keep all the hot sauce from running out and all of that. So I'll pinch the bottom together, and that's what I wind up with. I
Oh
just
my
let it
goodness.
cool down a little before I eat it.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea, I think. Did you burn your tongue too?
No, Mike. Uh, your mouth can take a lot more heat than your hands can.
Okay.
So I just thought you'd be interested in seeing something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I finally got my doctor's appointment. Went seeing the doctor and sent me in for my back and stuff. But you know how they take and hit you with that hammer in the knee, and you know it makes you
Yeah.
jump.
Checking your reflexes.
I have none in my legs.
No reflexes?
Nope. And so now they got to figure out what's going on there, because
wow.
I always have. But I mean, she beat the crap. My knees are sore. She hit me with them hammers so hard.
You tried to knock some sense into you, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
You should have just kicked, you know, just for get her to stop beating on you.
Wow.
You know, I know my back's been hurting me bad, and it's hard for me to walk sometimes and stuff. And I don't know if it, you know, pinched nerves down both legs. She doesn't seem to know, so she's sending me to a sports medicine doctor to find out why I got no reflexes. I feel, you know, I can feel stuff and like that, but it doesn't react when she whacks me.
Wow.
So I thought that was kind of a weird deal, but I never even heard of that before.
Huh.
Oh.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That sucks.
Yeah, we got tour to Michigan here tomorrow. I may go to that, help out. I was out tonight. Dick was flying and Pat was flying. What's really crazy is that they had a Fox 35 on a. We have Fox 35 races and stuff like that. But running the same field, just 10, 10, 10 and everything. The smell of that Fox 35 brought me back to when I was a kid.
All right.
I can't believe that it smells different coming out of a Fox 35. It must burn it different or something.
Yeah, hotter.
Is it hotter? I don't know, but
well, what kind did you say it was 10, 10, 10?
Yeah.
So 10 nitro, 10% what?
Synthetic, 10% castor.
Yeah, well, see, it's not enough castor for a Fox. That's the problem. So that's why it's burning hotter. You're really burning it, is what you're doing. That's the engine burning. That's why it smells different.
They had it set.
But I could be wrong.
for a 50 lap counted deal, but it smelled so much different. It burns it different or something. But you can smell the night. First thing I said is, "Damn, how much nitro you got in there?" And he's like 10%. But it brought me back the days of the smelling of Cox fuel and the old Foxes and stuff like that. But yeah, but they stuck it in the other airplanes. Just smell like they do now. But yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, it was crazy. Just that smell. It's like, man, I don't know if the muffler has something to do with it.
Did it have a muffler?
No, it didn't have a muffler.
Oh, okay. Okay, now. I found this year that I don't run, my Foxes run great until I put a muffler on them. As soon as I put a muffler on them, they're a nightmare. They just burn up. They can't dissipate the heat fast enough. I run all my Foxes now wide open, no mufflers, and they run beautifully.
Well, you probably do that in Canada. Down here, we got people who call the cops on you if they hear you running.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they can still run no muffler on racing, and it's considered racing. So they run without a muffler on them. It's 35 rat.
Okay.
And, but yeah, they don't get above chest high, so the sound doesn't travel like it does when you do an overhead with a Fox 35.
No, that's true. That is true.
But yeah.
But I find I put a muffler on the thing and the thing goes all brown and it's just cooking itself right into the ground.
Yeah, we found out that Foxes work better with a tongue muffler.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lots of holes in it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's basically it's just diverting the sound 90 degrees.
A little bit, yeah.
No back pressure.
That's right. It's probably a good way to run them. I might try that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Banjock was saying, because we couldn't. It's like you got to run a tongue muffler on them.
Well, and if anybody makes any comments, you can point and say, "See, there's the muffler."
Yeah,
it's got a muffler. That's right. Okay. I might have to try that on my Nobler. I mean, mine runs beautiful on my Nobler, but it's got no muffler on it. And it's just so loud. It's like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Looks like Peter's coming along pretty well on that Saginaw.
All right.
You got to unmute your mic. I muted your mic.
Oh, you're working on that. Yeah.
I hope you're going to trim that up a little bit.
Peter. He's not seeing us. Hey.
We can't hear you.
On, Pete.
I muted you.
Yeah, people are complaining.
That's better. Now we can hear you.
I hope you round that off in the front. That'll cause a lot of turbulence. And
no, that's
yeah. Well, that's that's for the nose
ring. Yeah,
that looks good.
He's just messing with you, Peter.
One of
everybody.
the things I do when I get to where you're at and you want to get that flushed out, to the prop and the face of the engine and all that, is I'll mount the engine. I'll leave the nut off the end of, and I make a piece of plywood and put a hole in it that fits over the shaft, and I'll just get it in there, and then I'll just work it back and forth like that, and use it to brings that flushes that base right down nice and even, and it just works well.
I can also put tape on this.
yeah, that helps. Any way you can do it, where you can get it matches up better for you than trying to hand do it like you're doing.
No, I've got so much here. I've got to get at least close before I can go there.
Okay, I follow you.
Yeah, you got Eddie Sutter.
Yeah, at first I thought that was a Nobler kit.
I from Eddie Sutter. He says,
of course, for the other side, you still have this one that goes on the other side over there, but that's after I mount the landing gear and everything else.
You know, another little trick I learned from Wendy was if you put a piece of 1/16 plywood on the back of an old spinner plate, like the flat back of a spinner plate, and then you bring that down until it's flush with the washer,
Right.
that gives you your clearance, so that even after you paint and so forth, you still have nice clearance and it's even all the way. Works really good.
Yeah, I was watching some of Wendy's videos actually today, more of his repair jobs, and he said, yeah, you turn around, you do that, or you get some sandpaper and you just double it over and you wedge it between the spinner and the back plate, and you just work it around a couple of times, so it'll give you the proper clearance, and you pull that out and then you paint.
I actually have the one he made for the road.
EC.
Yeah.
Hey, I got the streaming going again. All right.
What did Eddie say?
Oh, Eddie said that. Let me get back to that. Off the top of my head, he was saying that the Fox is not as loud. Here we go. It's not as loud as a greenhead torpedo.
No. No. That greenhead torpedo, the exhaust is going up when you mount it on a fuselage.
Yes.
On a profile, I mean.
Or it comes at you.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Riley chimed in that his stallion seems to be a bit outspoken too.
What did she say?
What was that?
What's that greenhead torpedo? Is it a 19?
They had 32s and 35s, 19s and 15s.
I got a 19 with a green head on it.
I had one of those too, Gary. I had a greenhead 19. So, Steve, I had hoped to get the actually wrap the balsa on that mold I showed you.
Yeah.
But I didn't get around to it. Yesterday, I was testing this out with Sparky. And let me quiet down. Hang on a second. Let me mute.
There we go.
Anyways, yeah, I didn't get to it. So hopefully I'll get it this weekend.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter, don't be bending over like that, doing that, if that's not kid friendly.
Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Let me click
See,
on
and that's Wendy's writing on there, and if you look on the back of it, you can see the actual plywood plate.
Nice.
So that I just slide that right up against the spinner plate, like the wooden plate you put on, and then it leaves you a nice clearance at the front.
Yeah.
Works really well.
Yeah, that would work nice.
Yeah, I like Wendy's stuff. I would just love to have some of that stuff from Wendy.
Well, if we ever meet, Charles, I'll get you a few Wendy bell cranks and a few parts and pieces, because I've got lots of it.
Very cool.
Okay.
That'd be very cool. I don't know if we'll ever meet.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Was you at Brodax in 2016 or not?
He was there. He has
1 year. No, I don't. I missed one of them. Which one did I miss? Was it 16 or? I missed one because I had a heart event.
Oh wow!
But I don't remember if it was that one.
The only excuse that's allowable.
Yeah, exactly. So you were there in 16?
Yeah, I was there at 16, and when I first met. I met you there. I mean, I didn't meet you there, but I saw you there, John. And then also when I first met Sparky.
Okay.
And that was great. You know, Sparky is short like I am, and you know he, I just watched him on the videos, and I just kind of, But when I met him, and Sparky and I hit it off really good. Had a really good time.
I think I was there in 16, but we never met.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's too bad. That's a shame.
Yeah.
I seen Charles and stuff, but you're always so busy there.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I read something. I read something on the forum today. That, or was it yesterday? Anyway, they set up the time, the dates and that for the 2021 Nats, and it's going to fall right in where Brodak would have come in. And they're wondering, or some people made a comment, will this be a reason why they won't hold Brodak's contest anymore?
A bunch of us talked about it, is that if Brodak, we're going to Brodak. I don't give a shit about the Nats or whatever, you know, so. But all of us here all of a sudden we're going to Brodak.
Yeah.
You know, why are they doing that with the Nats? I mean, was the Nats that went to the World Championships? The Nats was going on the same time as the World Championships.
Well, that's it. You know, I don't know why somebody decided that you have to hold the Nats earlier so that maybe it's so that the guys flying in the World Championships can fly at the Nats. I don't know. You know, I don't think that should be the issue.
Well, the other part of it is that usually if you're going to the World Championships, you're not going to show up for the Nats. There's another week of vacation you got to have.
Exactly.
You know, and all the money and everything else, and it costs so much to go to the World Championships. We went down the Saturday before the Nats, and the Monday before we left for the World Championships. We went there, and Samantha put up a couple of flights, and you know, had everybody watch the airplane and blah blah blah. And then we came back. We just drove there, did that, drove back. Then Monday we flew out to France. But I mean, we wouldn't have went for a whole week, and it's only a 4-hour drive from our house to go to the Nats. So, you know, we just went there for the day. But you know, I wouldn't have spent the money for motel and food and all that kind of stuff if it had been the week before or a couple of weeks before.
Yeah, it's almost a 2,000-mile drive for me to the Nats.
Wow, that's a long run. That's a long
far
run
for me too. Probably 2,400 for me, I think.
Well, about 5.5 hours for you guys, then, huh?
5.5 hours, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, let me interrupt here. Eddie Sutter said that he thinks he has 7 Greenhead 35s and 115. And Jeff Riley says, I'm like that too, but with Fox 35s. Well, we know Jeff Riley is crazy about Fox 35.
He's the Fox 35 king.
Yeah, he is.
They made a stunt version of that. And I had a chance to buy one, and I didn't. And I kicked myself in the ass.
Stunt version of what?
The Greenhead.
Oh, okay.
The special timing and stuff on.
They had a 49 as well.
Yeah.
So that was stunt tuned.
But yeah, I thought about it. It was at a swap meet. I walked back around. I came back to buy it. It was gone. But both of them, they had the S version of the, I think it was a 29 and a 35, and someone bought them both.
I have some old torpedoes. I have, well, I should say I had. I think now I still have one torpedo 35 with the trumpet Venturi, and I have a torpedo 40.
I got a Johnson 35, but I never get it to run that good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you get to a point where it's like, okay, I've got these engines. What am I going to put them?
I know where I'm going to put them. I'm going to put them in everybody else's pocket who will take them because I don't want any more of them anymore. Because you know what? They're not. Every time I go to the field, I remember why I don't like all these engines because none of them run worth a pinch of crap. It's the truth. Yeah, they'll run once every 10 runs. You'll get a good one, or you'll get the mixture or whatever just right. But I don't have that much time left. Sorry, it's time to get rid of all that
Len,
stuff.
What is it again you don't like about them?
I mean, you know.
Where do you want to start?
That's the first problem, right?
I don't care for McCoys. I don't care for Enyas. I don't care for old boxes. I don't care for any of them. I'm going to get rid of all of that stuff as soon as
I like McCoy. I can get a McCoy to run great.
I can too.
Yeah.
And I especially like the old lightning bolt McCoy.
Just have fun with that.
McCoy 40 redheads.
Yeah, I mean, I got a 29 lightning bolt redhead.
Hey,
that thing just
again. What are you going to put
so
it
good.
in? An old, Sterling, Goldberg shoestring, or a Sterling Ringmaster, or a Sterling P51? I mean, what are you going to put it in?
I figure 10 or 20 McCoys and Enyas and all that. Hey, I get myself one good motor, and it runs good every time.
Oh, you're talking about your stalker.
Yeah, like a stalker. I'll trade 10 McCoys and a couple of Enyas for a stalker any day. For one stalker, just one. That's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna get rid of all that old stuff, all the old 04-9s and junk, gone, all of it. One stalker.
I went to great lengths to get a stalker 40 and 51 side exhaust, so I could use them on profiles.
Hey, I have a question for you, Steve. I think this is directed towards you. Eddie Souter asked, "How do you get your plane to the World Championship?" And I asked him which one. He said France.
I made a box, made a take-apart airplane, and put it all in the box, and it went with us as luggage. But
boy, take-apart makes it a lot easier, doesn't it, Steve? In the old days, you had these trapezoidal-shaped boxes, made out of plywood.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you can't even get them on an airplane. I mean, when I flew, I got a ticket on, the British Airways. And they'll let you take a bigger box and all that kind of stuff. And they didn't charge you. Well, I get the ticket, and then they cancel the ticket and everything. Next thing you know, I'm on a United flight going to a different airport and all that kind of stuff. I was on there with Chris Rudd, and they charged me $100 to bring the airplane on. And I said, hey, that's a bunch of crap, because my ticket was from British Airways, and they don't charge for that. They said, well, if you want to take it, you got to pay. So
we got you right where we want you.
Yeah, they got you right.
But on the way back, I flew British Airways. They didn't charge me until I got into Newark. Then it got back on United, and I'll be damned, they didn't charge me the same amount of money to pay from Newark to Chicago.
One of the interesting things I was told that you can do if you have a take-apart airplane is you buy yourself one of these hard cases that the snowboarders use to transport their snowboards on the airlines.
Yeah.
And you put the airplane in there and back it so it doesn't get all beat up. But the airline looks at it, oh, another snowboard, and they put it on the airplane,
Very good idea.
Well, I'll tell you what. I made that aluminum case for the airplane, and it's thicker than 1/8 inch, and it was so many thousandths, whatever it was, but it's thicker than 1/8 inch. It's made of the same stuff as like that Dura stuff landing gear, that kind of aluminum. Paid extra for that. On the way there, and I seen it, the guy went to throw it on top. You know how they have the big luggage things? He throws it up and throws it right over the damn luggage cart. Boom. We get to France, the whole case is bent.
Oh, wonderful.
I had a full-length piano hinge on there and stuff. It bent the hell out of it, broke the nose of the airplane on the cowl. So we glued that all back together. It was in like 10 pieces. And got that back. But yeah, I still haven't figured out how to spring that damn aluminum. I may have to heat the aluminum up.
Take it back and see if the guy will throw it back over again.
The other way, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I got some comments on the chat. Let me see here. So Top Brent says go electric. It's just better. I think that's when we were talking about the old engines, Lynn, I believe.
Oh, here we go with this again.
Oh yeah.
And then Jeff Riley said, "Hey Lynn, remember me when you jump foxes again? Those foxes."
Okay, I'll remember him for sure.
Well, Len, I'm still a fox lover, even though I like my stalkers. So not fox. I mean McCoy lover. So
yeah,
keep
Well,
me in mind.
McCoy
So keep you in mind. I can mail. I know how to put stuff in the mail. Don't worry, it's easy.
I think a McCoy and a Stalker runs real similar, and
They do.
And the same thing with like I have an Enya 19, and that
No,
thing,
don't even bother with. Don't talk to me about Enyas. Just throw them at the wall.
just
Not worth
Hey,
anything.
hey, the 35 ball bearings, man. You have to break them in for like 3 months, but once they're broken in, they'll
the
run
Enya
forever.
you have, Les, probably isn't broken in after 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what the problem is with that? 2 flights after that, it's cooked and it's ready for the pail.
no. Once you
I
got
Look at that.
once
It's
you got an
there.
Enya broke
Oh,
in, the things run for your rest of your life. I mean, that
Yeah.
that 19. I mean, look at the guy there that he brought that Enya 19 on a flight streak at Brodak and won advanced with it. And
wow.
everybody's like, "What the hell engine you got on there?" And when I heard
Unbelievable.
that, I'm like, I got an old damn 19. I threw it on a flight streak, so much better than a FP20 or any of them other ones. It's
Wow.
lighter, it has more power.
And now, is it an old Enya 19 or a new one, like a newer version?
An old one, the bypass.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I got
Enyas are pretty good. They'll last forever. They take forever to break in, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going to last forever. That's the problem.
that's the problem. It probably won't be broke in after you're long gone.
Yeah, exactly. I got Enya 5224s until the cows come home, and I'm getting rid of them.
Those are good engines.
Yeah, well, everybody
sure
tries
they
to
are.
do is they try to run too small a prop on them and run them like a snarly engine. And you got to run a bigger prop, higher pitch, and them damn things will just purr.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 2 Enya 40s, and one's brand new in the box. The other one, I just really wasn't that impressed with it. It wasn't much more powerful than my LA 46. That's maybe not a fair comparison, but the plane had both the LA 46 and it had the Enya 40 in it.
Well, check the weight and see what the weight difference is.
It looks like it's significant. It looks like it would be.
Yeah, you bet it is.
Yeah, you're looking at the snarl ported Enyas. You got to go back to the old bypass ones that were
loop scavenged.
They're bricks.
Yeah, loop scavenged.
Yeah, they are.
That was like
bricks,
I had a friend that always ran Enya 60s.
They're a good stunt motor.
Yeah, and the loop scavenge. And
yeah, they're a good stunt motor.
He swore, and that they ran better than a Super Tiger.
Well, I don't think they run better. They run just about as good, but the deal is they're heavier again. This is the problem. It's weight is the problem with Enyas. Enyas are heavy.
Yeah,
that's my problem with them.
They're ball bearing engines.
Well, not all of them. Even the old plain bearing ones, they're heavy. They're a heavy motor. If I weigh an Enya 35 and I weigh an OS 35 side by side, holy crap! There's no comparison.
Absolutely.
Now, my Enya 35 weighs the same as a LA 25.
What does?
My Enya 35
weighs the same as an LA 25?
Yeah.
No way. I gotta check this.
It's the Enya 35 stunt that's built in a 25 case.
Oh yeah, the new one you're talking about. I'm talking about the old one. You're killing me, Steve.
He had you going there, Len.
He did. I was ready to run downstairs and grab the weight scale.
It's the same.
I'm thinking this guy's on crack.
The thing is, I remember Enyas from my early days is that we could run those Enyas and run the snot out of them, and they just took it. They took it. The fast engine, the combat engine of the day back in the 50s was a Torp 35. And the Enyas would run right with them, and
they're good power. No doubt. I remember the power was good.
But my engine 19 is lighter than a FP20. I weighed them.
Okay.
And well, they're both plain bearing and stuff like that. But the 19 is about a half an ounce lighter.
But it took it 15 more years to get it broken in.
What it is, you buy them used on eBay for really cheap, and they're about 3/4 of the way broke in then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
And then you run them just a little bit more, and they're golden. You let somebody else screw with them until they're like, I'm going to sell my Enyas.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a brand new Enya 19 for Christmas.
Have it broken in for me, though, okay?
Not a chance. It won't have a single run on it. You can flip until your fingers fall off.
Yeah.
Guys, I gotta go, but this has been
great.
Yeah.
John, you have a great week.
You
John,
too.
we'll see you Monday.
Take care of them fingers.
I will.
Yeah.
Hey, Rusty.
Hey, Rusty's back.
I heard somebody saying goodbye. I figured I better drop in before everybody left.
No.
No, not yet.
Well,
Hey,
goodbye,
Rusty,
all.
you sound good. I think it's you hosting is what messes up your...
Yeah, it is. I've got also, think I got a green signal bar, don't I?
Yeah?
I can't.
Yep. It's all about you hosting zaps power from your computer.
Charles looks like he's pretty crisp, too.
Yeah,
he's good. Charles has been good.
It's crazy. I mean...
Yeah. So Charles has got better broadband than I do.
Wow.
Or a better computer. Or both.
Yeah, I've seen yours been green all night, and it's like, I didn't know if because you had your picture shut off or not.
That would do it too.
It must be that.
There was 9 people, there was 12 people, and you never went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were.
So somehow when you run the thing, it must use computing power or broadband for you to be the host.
Yeah. Well, I went to habitually check the black page and see how many people were hanging out, but I forgot it's not there for me. I didn't open the black page
Oh,
tonight.
they get you the number of people? Because I only see the ones that are actually chatting. I didn't know there was more than that.
It'll tell you how many are concurrently there, and if you, I can't remember. I can't remember if you have to wait till after the show to see the total that were there for the night.
Just
But
we
I
have
check
right now
that page
9
all
right
the
now.
time.
And 9
How many
viewing
now?
right now. We have 9 viewing right now.
That's not bad for this time of night.
No, that's
we've,
more than we have on here.
Yeah, well, we always do have more on YouTube. But yeah, I continually check that page. What's the bandwidth say on that page? Excellent connection.
You talking about the streaming bit rate?
Does it say excellent connection, or does it say fair connection, or where the little green light is? It might not be green.
Let me go. You must be talking about Jitsi then, right?
No, I'm talking about the YouTube, the black page.
Okay, let's see here. The black page. I see a warning. The stream's current bit rate is lower
than recommended. Yeah.
Recommended. And so open a widget. I don't know what that is.
It can get pretty low. I was just curious. It can get pretty low and it still works. If it gets real low, you can refresh that page and it'll clear a lot of things up. But if it's not causing any trouble, which it's not, because we got good pictures right now, then
I'm refreshing it anyway just to see what's up.
So
it's gonna take. It'll take it about 2 or 3 minutes while it refreshes.
Okay.
So Rusty, you got a 5-gallon cans for your generators filled with gas and extra food and water and getting ready for the hurricane.
Oh,
It's not on the east coast of Florida.
He's now it's coming into South Carolina.
Oh,
Carolina's
always
probability. Is the probability cone coming towards me now?
Yeah.
It's always coming towards the Carolinas, Rusty. You should know that by now.
Well, it's no fun when it gets here.
Except I think it's only supposed to be a tropical storm by the time it gets there.
Yeah.
It depends if it's one of the sports car hurricanes or a old Cadillac hurricane. The sport car one turns out faster. And it ain't so bad for you guys, but you get the one just plows right in and then comes back out over the water again.
Turns around, hangs out for a couple more days.
Oh, now that's the worst kind. That's the ones that flood.
Yeah, you don't want those.
No.
I'll be back. I'm gonna grab some more water from the drink.
Okay.
Where is Myrtle Beach?
Myrtle Beach. Where is it? It's up near the It's up near the border of North and South Carolina.
Yeah, it looks like that's where they're saying that's this morning where they did that. Most likely to really affect land is
When's it supposed to hit land?
Sunday, I think.
Okay.
Good. It'll be out of here and gone by the time I go to the beach.
Oh, Tom's back. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, hell, we're going to get nailed.
That's just... yeah, that's an impossible cone right there.
At least, like I said, at least it's supposed to be only a tropical storm by the time it hits you. But you know, east coast of Florida is just going to get nailed. There's no two ways about it right now.
Yeah. Where are you, Peter?
Actually, I just moved from West Palm Beach, which is right about there where my mouse pointer is. I'm right here now. I'm in Tampa.
Oh, you're over. That's near
the other side.
Yep,
yeah, that's just north of Tampa, isn't it?
Oh, geez. Right now, it's down here. It's like it's like Hammer in Puerto Rico right now.
Yeah.
And it's going to come up every time they've updated this thing. They've moved it a little further west. I'm hoping they're not going to move it any further west than it is now.
There's just no telling, you know. If you lived in Florida all your life, no, you don't have a Florida accent.
No, not all my life. Actually, where that S is up there.
Yeah.
Up until 1997. That's where I was living.
Oh, wow.
Right on Long Island in New York.
Yeah, as soon as I asked you that, I realized, no, that boy doesn't have a Florida accent.
So,
wow.
But we've been in Florida since '97, so it's almost real.
Yeah.
So you
still looks like it's going to hit right there at the North Carolina, South Carolina border. Or more likely. So.
Yeah, the bottom line is you're just going to get a ton of rain. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
load up on Mountain Dew and hang on.
Yeah. Diet Mountain Dew.
Diet Mountain Dew. Hey, can you? That's what you need. Diet Mountain Dew, Steve.
That's what I drink.
Is that what it is? Diet Mountain Dew? I didn't think there was such a. Oh my God, there is such a thing. Here's what I drink. Real Canadian water.
I'm a Coke-aholic
Real
myself.
Canadian, as opposed to what?
3 days before I left France, I found Mountain Dew.
Whoops, you froze.
But they didn't diet Mountain Dew. I was drinking damn espresso like it was going out of
Two of you.
Sounds like you're drinking right now. Whoops,
Yeah,
we've
Steve.
lost him.
You froze up on us.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
I did?
Yeah,
did,
you froze.
I got two of you. One's frozen, one's moving.
I don't think I could handle two Steves.
Yeah, they'd have to develop a special software filter for that.
Well, I got sick this week, guys. It was my turn. I had diverticulitis.
Oh,
you know what that is?
Oh, actually, yeah, I do.
That's bad. That's bad
You mean
shit.
you're not
I don't
still in
have
the
it.
hospital?
No, I just changed my diet real quickly, and I seem like I'm getting better now. My stomach pains are all gone.
Oh, geez, I was diagnosed with a case of diverticulitis, and they had to do a bowel resection on me.
No, I
That
just
can
had.
be a pretty serious ailment.
Oh yeah, I got very lucky right now. I got it. I started getting sick on Tuesday night, and I just changed my diet right away. Boom, boom. I went right to water for a couple of days and crackers and garlic and yogurt. That's all I've been eating for most of the week. Now I'm just starting to reapply other foods as of today.
Oh, good.
So far I feel fine.
That's a good thing. You do not want to end up. Nah, no.
Oh, we do have two Steves. I didn't realize it on mine.
Yeah.
Oh, I have two Steves too.
Yeah,
They're
both of them are.
grayed out. They both
They're
got
both
gray
frozen.
signal bars.
They're both frozen now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both frozen. Put a torch to them, warm them up.
They're in slightly
How
different
did you
poses.
find out you had diverticulitis?
What's that, Peter?
How did you determine that you had diverticulitis?
Oh, it's the standard pain in the lower left side of your gut that won't go away.
Okay, with me, it was no pain. It's just with me, it was like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom, but I can't. I need to go to the bathroom, but I can't. And I said, and then just the pressure got to the point where it was like saying, okay, it feels like there's something that needs to come out, but it's not getting there.
That's not good.
It went to the emergency room and said, boom, you're going to surgery.
Wow.
Oh man, sorry to hear that, Peter.
Sucks.
No, this was a while ago, but it's like it's like no, when somebody says diverticulitis, I kind of like say, okay, that's not going to be fun.
My mother and sister both have suffered from that.
In most cases, it doesn't get that severe, but you just got to be really careful with it when you get it. You got to really, well, like I say, be careful.
Yeah, it can be dangerous.
I didn't have any pain or any other discomfort before that. It was just like came on all of a sudden. It was like, okay. It wasn't even painful, to be honest with you.
Wow. Well, mine was. I had it before, and it was the same feeling I got again, a pain in my lower left side abdomen. And I just knew right away. And it's because I had a bad diet for a few days, and I paid for it. I know better. I have to be careful what I eat, and that's the way it is as you get older. If you eat garbage eat crap all the time, you pay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of years ago, the first time I had gout, and the doctor said, you got to be careful what you eat. You're at the age now where you're susceptible to gout.
Exactly. You got to eat a respectable diet, or you're going to pay as you get older.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Steve, but he's just frozen right up.
Yeah, twice. I've seen him twice frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I.
Connection's lost, says.
Yeah. So, Rusty, how you feeling?
Okay.
That's good. Just okay?
That's about right.
Okay.
This COVID vacation has been really bad for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been bad for everybody.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, guys, I think I'm going to hang it up.
All right. Well,
I
hey,
think I've
thanks
had
for
enough.
coming up. Lynn, you're always a great contributor.
Well, you too, Charles. Thanks for doing it tonight. And Rusty.
Yeah, thanks,
stuff.
Lynn.
Okay, so we'll see you guys on Monday, hopefully.
Jeff's
Yeah.
just came in.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jeff
Peter.
just came
Hey,
in.
Charles.
Yeah,
Hey,
Oh.
what's up, man?
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Len. Hey, Len.
How you been?
I saw your video with the bislobs. I laughed.
Okay.
I laughed my butt off. That was hysterical.
I'm glad you liked it.
There's a
That was
bislab video.
So much fun.
Oh yeah, glad you liked it.
That was great.
Hey, sea foxes are good. They're not all bad.
I've had nothing but good luck with them.
If I've learned, if you run them properly, they run great. The foxes.
At least
You gotta-
25% nitro.
And no muffler.
I don't go over 5%.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
I have two that run really good with tongue mufflers, but if you put the silencer mufflers on them, throw them in the
Forget it.
trash.
Yeah, they just overheat and then they're just in trouble.
Yeah, I have one that's let's see, what would you call it? It looks bronze now.
Yeah, I bet it does. I've got one that looks bronze and black.
Yeah, I believe it.
Is that your
Oh,
best
yeah.
running one, Lynn, by chance?
No, not
Okay.
nearly.
All right.
That's the worst running one.
I might even have that one. I'm gonna go see if I can bring it up. Hang on.
All right.
Where's that bislab? Somebody's asking about a Caprice or what was that? No, not a Caprice. At the Nats, and I can't find that airplane.
That was the ballerina.
Oh, the ballerina.
Ballerina. I can't find it in the appearance points judging.
I don't think I saw it there either.
No, it's not
But
there.
I thought I heard Sparky when he was taking some videos mention it.
Yeah, I think I remember that too.
There's a Triumph that's a multi-rudder airplane, and then there's only two. There's a what they call it, Triumph, and because whoever did these, they took a picture of all the rows. Wait, hold on, what's that?
Well, it seemed to me like there's a couple planes that's not in the rows, just off to the side.
That's true.
Maybe that's what he was.
Yeah,
But
there were a few of them that were off to the side. Maybe that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Row 16, row 14. Oh, that Juno's beautiful. High voltage, pattern master, 15, vantage, imitation. Oh, a profile made it in row 15. Okay. Another pattern master. Nope, that's not it. Dreadnought. That's not it. Yeah, it's not in the rows. They have the Triumph, which is a multi-ruddered airplane, and you had the Esprit. But other than that, those were the only two that were in the row.
Yeah.
No, it's on one of the bislobs. And it runs good, so yeah, it's on one of the two bislobs I have right now. So it's running good.
Oh, good.
But yeah, I run 28% all caster and 5% nitro, and they seem to like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about what I run. Mine I think is 29% caster.
okay, yeah, maybe it's 29.
I hate that.
28,
I hate
29,
that
whatever.
greasy
It's all the
stuff.
same.
But it sure is a slimy mix, though.
Yeah, that's why I run 1022 in mine. If it burns it up, to hell with it. But it hadn't hurt it.
Okay.
It runs great.
Yeah, if you let the exhaust blow on your hand, does the handle jump out of your hand once in a while?
Yeah. Yeah, being so slippery, yeah. From all the
Oh
cats.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like dipping your hand in a bucket of axle grease before you fly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I hate that stuff.
That's the good old days.
I like smoke though. That's the only thing I like about high oil fuel is you get lots of smoke, and I love smoke coming out of
Yeah.
my plane when it flies.
We got Ed Carlaw. Hey, Ed, why don't you click on your mic and click on your camera so we can hear you and see you.
Oh yeah, EC. I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
It's
back
right in the
when
center of your screen, Ed. You'll see a microphone, and then you'll see the red like hang up, and then you'll see the one to the right of that is the camera. You click on those two on the outside. We'll be able to see you, unless you don't want us to see you, but you might want us to hear you.
That's something I forgot to tell you, Charles. When you get through here and want to duck out, hit the red button, and it'll kill your Jitsi screen.
Okay.
Or just close the tab, either way.
All righty.
And don't leave live stream running on YouTube.
Yeah.
Not unless you want to call from Sparky tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably going to do a Saturday show, so he probably wants that not to be streaming. Yeah,
I think if he's I think that was a day when he was in Ohio and couldn't get to his computer to shut it down when he called me. So he can probably do it there. I don't see any reason why he couldn't. I need to show you where all that is too.
Yeah. There was something else that I thought of. I was able to restart the live stream, so that worked out good. Your tip about the notepad.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Excellent.
You already had it handy.
Yeah, that was nice. Oh, we're going to have to talk about uploading the videos. If you want to upload, if I can upload it to your channel and upload it to my channel as well, I'd like to do that. Or Bonnie can do one upload.
Oh yeah, because I'd like to keep the reruns all together.
Yeah, I would like you to have that too. I mean, anybody wants to go back to find them, they're in sequential order, and that's
convenient.
Yeah.
It's hard to find the reruns on Sparky's YouTube. You can find them scattered here and there, but you can't find all of them. He's got an empty list. I've been meaning to ask him if I can put them all in there. I hope I don't have to do it one at a time, but I could do that, and then we could start just putting them in there. But we'll figure it out.
No, actually, when I go to Sparky's channel, I don't really have a hard time finding the old reruns. They're usually there, and if you click on videos, they're all in by date. Pretty easy.
Yeah, mixed in with build threads and everything else, though.
That's true.
My playlist is nothing but the Hangout shows from dating back to May 2017.
Wow.
Or April, maybe.
I want to try and get at the Nats. I heard a little bit about it, but I didn't catch.
First, number one.
First in what? I mean,
advanced.
Advanced? Oh,
and
okay.
Number one in the world at the Nats. And he got number one, yeah. So,
well, I knew they talked about numbers or something, but
yeah, he did awesome. That was so now he's been booted up to open. He can't come back and fly at the advanced and Nats. He can't fly in open next year.
Oh, is it mandatory?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think once you win the advance, you got to fly in open. Now he can probably still compete in advance at local contests and stuff.
Oh yeah,
but at the Nats he has to go to open.
Yeah.
That means he's going to have to boost up that 1.21 gigawatt flux capacitor.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Looks like somebody posted something in the chat box down there.
Nah, nothing new. Unless you talking about our
not
chat
the
box?
YouTube. I mean the Jitsi chat box.
Interesting. Oh, you got a lot to keep an eye on. Oh, Tom, yeah, Tom did. But it was yes, I think it's the video for his
Navigator flight from the water on his YouTube channel. Yeah.
So when is, I mean, what happened with Pampa? When are they going to like publish another stunt news or something? I mean, there's nothing been on their site since forever.
Yeah, they've had some articles on their site, but yeah, no magazines. My last magazine from Pampa, and they're getting really thin too.
Yeah. I mean,
Stunt's getting really thin.
Speaking of, I meant to do this earlier. You guys get the latest model aviation news?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used it as a coaster as soon as it hit the door, so I had no problem.
I normally use it to mix my epoxy, but I'm actually in this magazine.
Oh, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What page?
Page 46.
As up to date as that magazine editor is, it's probably last year's Nats.
I'm talking about not Pampa. This is the actual model aviation news.
Yeah, it's the AMA official deal.
Oh, good, Rusty. You have yours? Good.
Yeah.
Lynn, do you have model aviation news, Lynn, in Canada?
No, we don't get any of that. We have our own for our own thing, which is Mac.
Yep, they don't have AMA.
We don't have AMA. We have Mac.
All right, well.
Are you one of those little teeny people in the background?
Yeah. Oh, nice picture.
Can you guys see that?
That's awesome.
You guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's not. It's on the other side. I'm used to. See me? I'm on the.
You're standing behind him.
I'm on the wrong page.
Yeah, page 46.
He's the guy in the back.
I'm the guy in the back.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I've been having.
Where was that, Charles? Does that go for Gulch?
No, this was VSC this year.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went to the flying field the last couple of days, right? And I'm going, do you guys see my picture in Model Aviation News? They go, no, I didn't see a picture. I looked at it cover to cover. So I pull out a magnifying glass out of my pocket, right? And I put the magnifying glass over me and go, there I am right there.
That's funny.
That's cool.
Oh, I've been having
awesome.
fun with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I just been having fun with that.
I remember when I first retreaded and got back into flying, I was in all the magazines everywhere. It seemed like I turned a page, there was me doing something, and then it tapered off, and I'm hardly ever in any pictures anymore. But
what were you saying, Jeff? I didn't quite hear you.
Which was that?
I don't know. You said something right before Rusty or during Rusty.
I don't know. Must not have been very important.
Okay.
I think that was Pete.
No.
No. We never found out what's up with Ed Carlaw.
No, we haven't. I don't know if he's just shy or what, but that's too bad. But you know what? You're welcome, Ed. You're welcome to join us. Glad you're here. Obviously, you're a member of Stunt Hangar, so that's cool.
Yeah, you got to be a member of Stunt Hangar to get where he is. Or you can go to YouTube and post in the chat box over there. We keep an eye on that too. Well, I'm not looking at it, but
Says he's got a good connection.
yeah. Well, that's because his camera's off.
Oh.
Yeah. You know what? I'm probably getting good broadband and everything else because my two teenage kids aren't here. So I don't know if we can count on this when I host it again, the same
Yeah,
kind of results.
you got the best I've ever seen. And you know, when you had to reset the stream, you
Yeah.
probably went back up to full video instead of the step down video. I didn't tell you
Oh,
about
I
that.
forgot to readjust that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's working fine.
Yeah, this is one of the first times I've been able to hear everything Charles has said.
That's
Wow.
good.
Well, I brought my mic. I have one of these. I call them blue balls. It's white.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Is that what Bill uses?
Yeah, that's what Bill uses. Yeah. When I'm in the garage, I use this. I brought everything from the garage in here. I just didn't want to take any chances on lack of performance, so I brought it up here.
Everything but
I
the Strega.
I had no idea that we were going to get so close to showtime setting up. I thought you were going to have a good 30, 45 minutes, if not more, before you had to get your head in ready for the show. And so I went to make me a snack and I looked at the clock and I said,
Yeah,
damn, Charles is going to
20
be
minutes.
starting up in 5 minutes. And
No. Yeah, no, I was like, oh my god, let me get this. Let me get going. So I might have been like a minute late or something, but or maybe I was 30 seconds late. But I know I wasn't exactly at 9:41 your time.
that's okay.
Yeah, so I tried, but yeah, it's been good.
Did they jump on you? Well, let's see. I was here. That's right. I was right here when you started. I watched you on YouTube for a minute and then switched over. So
Oh no, actually, Gary came in shortly after I started the live stream, but it was good. It was good. Yeah, I'm gonna probably just watch the part of it sometime and see what I missed.
I go back and watch the opening and the closing to see how I looked on those a lot of times, but I hardly ever go back and look at anything in between now.
Yeah, I pretty much.
Sometimes I'll go back and see if I said something stupid at one point or another, but I don't even worry about that much anymore.
I do that all the time anyway. I'm used to it.
I usually look back to see if I said anything smart from time to time.
We usually look back to see if you fell asleep, Len.
Well, that's usually true too. That's why I came on so late tonight. I fell asleep. The computer was watching me again tonight for a couple hours.
I came on late because I was vacuuming up about 8 pounds of sawdust.
Oh my goodness. Was it 4-pound balsa sawdust?
It was whatever balsa I could get
Okay.
from, I think it was, part of it was Hobby Lobby and the other part was Michael's.
Okay. Oh, Michael's balsa is pretty sad.
It's all pretty sad right now.
I've gotten
Yeah.
plenty of balsa from Michael's, actually. But
That
Yeah.
half-inch piece I bought from the hobby shop weighed more than a 2x4.
It's
Holy
pretty
cow,
bad.
really?
Yeah, it's pretty rough right now. I'm going
well,
through my supply slow but sure.
The guy at the hobby shop, and I talked to the guy at SIG,
At least you got a hobby shop.
and he said, well, it's about an hour and a half drive,
Oh, wow.
but it's clear out in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay.
And I live by LAX. I mean, it doesn't mean anything to you, but it's an hour and a half drive in LA
Okay.
traffic.
Wow.
It's a long way.
But I talked to him, and I talked to the guy at SIG Manufacturing, and he said, we're not going to have contest balsa for another year.
Oh, really? This is what Sig said?
This, I talked to, I can't remember the guy's name I talked to at SIG.
why is there a balsa shortage?
Because they harvested the trees too fast, and now they're all wet. So all the light balsa is gone. All the trees they're harvesting now are all the young sapling trees. So they used to top them and take all the wood off the top. So then they cut them all down. They run out of balsa wood. And the reason, part of it was blamed on the fact that these
wind turbines,
wind turbine rotor blades are balsa wood.
That's right. I did hear that.
And they bought all the balsa wood.
But I heard that they stopped doing that now. They're not making them. They're not using balsa wood for them anymore.
Yeah, they're using something else now.
They're using a honeycomb base with a Kevlar carbon fiber and a 1.21 gigawatt flux capacitor. I don't know what.
Perfect. Hope they have fun with that.
I hope they leave our balsa wood alone.
That's the important thing. Maybe we'll get the balsa back.
We will eventually, but we'll be too old to use it. That's the problem.
How long does it take for the tree to mature?
And we'll have a flux shortage.
Balsa's growing, and it's maturing, it's aging.
Okay.
They say they've got, I don't know, 5 acres of it in Brazil somewhere. That's going to be ready to top in about 6 months from now.
Okay.
So
Cool.
in 6 months, you should be able to get some pretty decent balsa wood, according to the guy I talked to.
Okay.
Where
Well,
he
let's
gets
hope
his
so.
information, I have no idea.
Well, I imagine he's close to the source if he's a distributor of balsa like Sig.
Well, he's the guy that owns Edding's Brothers Hobby Shop out in Chatsworth. And that's the closest thing I have to a control line hobby shop.
I've been to Smith Brothers.
Brothers, that's it.
I was there a couple years ago.
Yeah, Edding's Brothers was an auto parts shop I used to go to. Smith Brothers is the place I'm thinking of.
Okay, that is a nice hobby shop. And you walk in the back and they have racks of model airplane magazines. You know. Mm-hmm. Last time I was there, they even had some of the what was that magazine from Brodak they put out for a while? What was that magazine?
Control Line World.
Control Line World.
Yeah, they had
I subscribed to that.
They had all kinds of model airplane magazines. I was like, wow. Then they had in the store, they had, Sig products and Brodak products.
That's got to be a 3.5 hour drive for you.
Oh yeah, I went there only after going to Woody and Arrows for a contest, and I followed Al Heger.
Al Heger runs the club that I fly with.
Right. Yeah, I get the NAG every week. Hey, if you guys are not familiar with the NAG, it's a email newsletter this guy generates every week, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I sent him pictures of my Lark about a year ago.
Yeah, if anybody's interested, let me know. I can, if I get your email, I can forward it on to him or something, and he'll just add you to his long list.
Yeah, he's got a list of it seems like 2,500 people.
Oh, it's a big list.
It's a humongous list.
Hey, is this you, Pete?
Yeah, you were in a magazine, so was I.
Oh, I bet your picture's a
long time ago.
Your picture's a lot bigger than mine, Peter. My goodness. I mean, I got a nice picture in Pampa. I'm actually on the back cover of Pampa with my Strega. And there's another, I think I have an article in Pampa featuring my Nobler. And then there's I got some pictures of me at Golden State.
That was in Flying Models magazine, Howard, by the way.
Wow, very cool, man. Yeah, you look a lot younger then.
Yeah, quite a bit.
I made it to a magazine one time. I made it to Cycle News.
Oh, very cool.
But my picture was from the back of the ambulance waving. That was after they pulled my knee back to straight.
Wow. What
A
happened?
dubious honor at best.
I had both collarbones taped up, my knee wrapped up, and my left knee and my right ankle were all wrapped up.
Wow.
And here's me waving
or
from the.
Was you racing or what?
Huh?
Was you a racer?
I raced motocross for 10 years.
Ah,
Oh, that is so cool. I never raced professionally in motocross, but I rode dirt bikes from the ninth grade until I started getting into cars and girls. But I did. I had a stripped down Yamaha 175 Enduro that was stripped down for dirt.
I had my first race bike was an 85 CR 125 that has
oh
been
yeah.
all pro circuit.
Honda.
Wow.
I mean, the suspension, the motor. I mean, even the seat covers had pro circuit on it. That thing was just amazing. It was a rocket ship.
Well, I remember.
And
I remember
that was the first one that hurt me.
I remember the first time I saw an Elsinore, I was just like, "Wow, what is that?" That was crazy.
And then the next bike I had was an 89 YZ 125.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's the one that folded my knee backwards.
Wow.
That was the one waving from the back of the ambulance. I got my knee, left knee, right ankle, both collarbones, left shoulder. All in the same hit.
Manage that.
That's making me hurt just hearing about it.
I know. I mean, when you get older, you're going to be hurting when you get older, Jeff.
Well, I'm already hurting. I'm already kind of old. I mean,
Okay.
We're all old.
How old are you, Jeff?
Let's see. I'll be 55 in September.
You're not old. You're young.
Yeah,
Holy crap! Old.
I've been retired for 5 years.
That's
You
pretty
must
good.
have done something right.
Well, I
Yeah,
got
right.
into trade when I was
retiring for another 5.
I became a union sheet metal worker right out of high school.
Good boy.
Wow, good for you.
And I did it for 31 years.
Oh,
That's
good
a
for
good.
you.
Awesome.
And when I had a chance to put money in the 401k, I put every penny in it that I could afford to put in it, and it turned
Good
out to be
stuff.
about $8 an hour.
Damn, I wish I could say the same.
And I did that for 14 years.
Nice.
Good stuff.
So and my wife worked for Boeing, which is 4 miles from the house, and she finally retired 2 years after I did.
Very good, you guys. That's awesome.
So when did you find time to like ride motocross?
When I was young and stupid, and all my mentality was screw it on and hold it wide.
Wow.
That's what pulled me short on the 2 sets of triples.
Oh, on a YZ 125. How tall are you?
On a good day.
A good day.
Well, back then I used to be. What was it? I was 5'7" when I was racing.
Oh, geez. On a YZ 25. Yeah.
Oh wait. I weighed in.
To get up on it.
I weighed in at an amazing 127 pounds.
Oh.
Yeah, that's you and me. And on a YZ 125, get your leg across the top of that sucker. I mean,
On my YZ 125 that had been to Pro Circuit and Tough Engineering, that bike didn't know I was on it.
Yeah, but the thing was getting on it.
What was worse was my CR 500.
Wow, you rode a 500? Wow.
I rode 3 classes. I rode 250s, 500s, and mostly 125s. But like in like arena cross and real short tracks, I raced the 125s. In supercross, I did 250s, and in outdoors, I did 500s.
Wow.
Yeah, I did the Barstow. I did not Barstow, but the Mint 400, which goes from State Line to Las Vegas. I did that 3 years.
Wow. Yeah.
And that was just for fun.
Amazing. Wow. That's yeah, I never raced. I just rode. But I love to. We had a place out here in San Diego called the Sand Pit, and I would ride out there. But I didn't have a pro bike. I just had, like I said, a modified enduro.
Well, I raced down there. I raced down there at Verona. I raced at Carlsbad.
Carlsbad
was a great place to race. That was a lot of fun.
So you raced at sand pits, you said? You been there?
Where?
The sand pit.
Yep.
South of Santee. Yeah, I used to ride from Santa all the way in the back way, all up to Santee at the sand pits.
Okay. Yeah, I raced there a couple of times. Not very much.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of small track.
That was a 125 track.
Yeah, I remember I got started in dirt bikes and motocross before the invention of the monoshock. It was like I had a Montesa 250.
Oh,
My
wow.
friend had a Bultaco 250.
Yeah.
Egads.
And going hitting the motocross track at full steam, hitting the loops and stuff with those bikes. That was the Jesus.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you
My
had
Yamaha
you
did
had
not have
all of what, about 3 inches of travel in the back?
Yep, exactly.
My bike had 13.
I know. I had a YZ125 later on.
Yeah, I don't even know what those bikes are like because I just had a modified enduro, so that was nothing like what you guys are talking about.
Oh,
Yeah,
my bike was a Cadillac with a rocket engine on it.
I just remember riding behind. I hated riding behind Husqvarnas. My friend had a Husqvarna 250, and all it did was just help me with rocks.
Yeah.
I used to ride way back when I had to follow him. Get the echo.
When I first started riding, a guy that rode a 500 Yamaha, and I had to do the same thing. He said, "Oh, you can't even keep up with me." I said, "Yeah, right. That's because we're out in the desert, and I don't want to get wristed by you. And you know your way around, and I don't." So I just followed him. I stayed back about 100 yards.
Yeah.
To keep from getting rocks in the face.
Riding those early dirt bikes at speed, you'd be standing up on the pegs, and you'd be going down the motocross track, and the rear tire would be kicking up so high, you'd be standing on the pegs, and the seat would be hitting you in the butt as it was flying over the bumps. Because, like you said, we only like 3 or 4 inches of travel, and the front end was trying to go in every different direction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I had an expansion chamber, and I put 21-inch wheel in the front, put a fork kit in the front, and that's all I can remember. But I had fun.
Yeah, my bike was all gone through by professional suspension people. I had a Honda support ride.
Yeah, wow. Sure. Yeah.
And then when I dropped Honda and started racing Yamahas, the guy from Yamaha Los Angeles picked me up, and I rode for him for 3 years. And that was the 4th time I broke this side of the collarbone.
Wow.
And they dropped me.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I had both collarbones broken at the same time once.
You're the definite liability.
It was hard to fly airplanes with both collarbones broken.
I bet.
It was tough.
Painful. Ugh.
It was hard to flip the prop.
Hey, you guys, it's after 1 o'clock in the morning for most of you guys?
Yeah, it's 1:06.
It's 10:06 here. And I'm just going to pull the plug on this.
All I guarantee when I start the show is midnight Eastern. And that's what I hope for. And I'll try to not ever shut the show off before midnight. But at midnight, depending on how I feel and how the conversation's going, all bets are off.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm loving this conversation, but it's late.
Yeah.
Do you have a discount hobby out there?
Yeah, we do.
Close to you?
Okay. Yeah, there's 2 of them out here. But I didn't realize it was a chain. I didn't know that.
I'd never heard of it.
I got some planes from there. That's what I wondered.
Yeah, there's one in San Diego. That's where the original one was. And then they bought a hometown hobbies in San Marcos, which is close to my home. And they bought that out. And now it's Discount Hobbies up in San Marcos. And it's a to me, it's a typical hobby store. I wouldn't say it's. I mean, because don't get me wrong. Don't give me whatever I need, but they don't have stuff in the store, and nothing. I take that back. They have a couple kits. They got some small 3-inch bell cranks. They got some. I do see some lines in there. So I mean, I know they're trying. But at where I'm at, I just go in there and buy Dubro and Great Plains nuts and bolts.
Parts and pieces. Yeah.
Yeah. I just get
That
and
used
fuel.
to be
Now,
hobby
you know
people
what?
or hobby
Now
shops
their
around
fuel is unbelievable because they sell. I can get like 10%. It's Omega Power or Cool Power. It's made by Morgan Fuels. I can get like 10% gallon for like $19.
That's good.
I was going
good, but it's
I was going to Torrance and I was going to Hot Rod City, and I was paying $14 a gallon for 1022. 10% nitro 22 caster.
That's not bad.
And for my 528, I was paying 12.
Wow, that's not bad. I might be mistaken. Maybe I'm
the
15.
Let's see.
The 15
12. That's unreal.
10% is $17.
Yeah, but that was probably last time I bought from Hot Rod City was probably 10 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, fuel's gone up, by the way.
We're having trouble getting fuel here.
I bought at Smith Brothers.
Oof.
Yeah, just mix your own fuel. That's what I do, Lynn, because I can get fuel
for the
my
stalkers.
LAs.
Yeah.
I can get fuel for my LAs and Foxes and all that kind of stuff that I still have to add oil to, but I can't get straight nitro with I can't get straight like FIA fuel, with no nitro and just synthetic. They don't have that. So I end up buying from this one fuel distributor. I buy a 5-gallon jug of methanol, and then I buy a gallon of
your own.
I buy a gallon of
Klotz.
Sig caster and
Caster.
Klotz,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
Klotz
that's right.
and I mix my own fuel.
Do you get caster cheaper from Sig than you can from Brodak?
Say again?
Yeah, I Sig Champion. I'm fine. I'm happy.
Do you get caster from Sig because it's cheaper than Brodak, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. I actually haven't bought. I've never bought fuel or anything from Brodak, so.
The only thing I've ever bought from Brodak other than kits is a few small parts like horns, belt cranks, adjustable lead outs, stuff like that.
Yeah, I buy the Klotz. I buy Klotz directly from Klotz. When they have a sale, I buy it directly from Klotz. And the caster, actually, I have a gallon of caster someone gave me, but I've been buying quarts of caster. I bought some from Morgan Fuels. I bought some from I forgot who else.
Well, you've heard of VP Racing Fuel, right?
Yeah, that's where I get the methanol at, actually.
I've got a VP Racing Fuel guy that lives down the street from me.
Yeah. I have a racing VP guy down the street too. I buy a 5-gallon jug.
Oh, jeez.
Methanol.
Yeah,
you all right? You all right, Peter?
He'll mix it from the back of his truck for me by the quart if I want.
I think he just woke up.
Wow.
Yeah, so if I need a quart, like for half a fuel, I'll get 25 or 30%. He'll mix me a quart of it. Pour it out in the back of his truck.
That's great.
And and then what he does, you've seen my backyard, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm happy with
Champion.
Big Champion.
Instead of charging me for the fuel, he'll just come over and have a couple of drinks for free.
Wow.
So I can get small quantities of fuel. I can get for basically for nothing.
That's awesome. Hey, Peter, I definitely think that Big Champion is the best fuel. I really believe that because it's great, but it's so expensive for me to get that.
Oh, exactly. Costs a fortune.
Yeah, what I'm happy with what I can do, but when I flew Sparky's plane at at the Nats. That's what Sparky was using was a Stick Champion. And I
5%.
don't know what it was. And I have a friend who's
It's 20 bucks a gallon. It's 20 bucks a gallon.
St. Louis, and all he uses is Stick Champion. He has excellent engine runs, but I'm just not going to pay that price.
Well,
Yeah.
obviously, if you're flying for competition, you're going through a heck of a lot more fuel than I do. Typically, 20 bucks a gallon. It's 20 some odd dollars a gallon. It's what it is. It's what it is.
It's funny, people who talk about the price of fuel, that's fine, but do you go to Starbucks?
Hardly ever.
It's $8.
Yeah,
for a 16-ounce cup
$3
of
bucks
coffee.
just for a regular coffee. Yep.
$8 for a cup of coffee. I mean, are you serious?
Yeah,
My street doesn't run worth a crap on Starbucks.
Oh, I go to Chevron.
Yeah, I
Dunkin' Donuts
just
coffee.
make coffee. I mean, it's like, why spend all that money? I mean, I go to the grocery store and buy. I'm happy with Folgers, you know.
That works fine for me.
Yeah, and I just
Yeah.
make my own coffee.
Do you ever get the Folgers Black Silk?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't care
Really?
what it is, but if it's thick enough where the spoon stands up in the cup, I'm happy.
Oh, you must love
No
Perfect.
sugar, no milk, just the coffee, and make sure it's like thick as oil. And
Oh,
I'm
that's
happy.
that's much better than what I'm doing. I'm adding creamer and stuff in my coffee. So
I don't put nothing in mine.
I was doing that for a while, but I kind of got off the habit. My wife buys all that stuff and it's in the refrigerator. I just grab it. You know, it's just, if it's there. Yeah, I know you're on your modified diet. That's right.
Here,
No
wait,
coffee
hold on
here.
a second.
Hey, I've had one coffee in my whole life. One coffee.
Oh, really? Oh, good. That's great.
I don't drink coffee either.
No, actually, having the studies show having like 2 or 3 cups
you
a
go,
day
Len.
is actually good for you.
There you go. I've had
Low
one
life
coffee.
water at its finest.
Okay, I've had one coffee and one beer in my whole life. That's it.
Good
I've
for
had
you,
one beer
man.
my whole life too, at a time.
Me too, and I only had it one time.
Hey, that's awesome, man. I'm not. I do drink coffee. That's the one thing
No,
I
that's
do.
all good. It's fine. I mean, it's just that I chose not to. Very young, I looked at it and went, "No, I don't want that."
Me too.
The first time I ever went to a Starbucks, I was with the vice president of the company I worked for. And we went out to look at a rain gutter job. And I told him, I said, Bob, there's no way I can fix this. You just got to replace it. He says, okay, I'll go tell him. He says, take the scissor lift down and put it back around the corner. I'll meet you at your truck, okay? So he comes back out, and I'm at the truck. And he goes, hey, let's go across the street. There's a coffee shop over there. I said, okay. We walk across the street, Starbucks. First time I'd ever even seen the place. All right, sounds good.
They make
Smells
coffee
good.
just like you like it.
So we look in there, and the menu is like bigger than the front of my house. And I'm walking in there, and I'm looking at it, and I look in there, here's this guy. I'm a sommelier, or whatever the hell you call yourself. Okay, great. Coffee? He goes, yeah. And Bob goes, don't get any money, I got it. He's the boss. Okay. Take a apple fritter and a bear claw. 2 coffees. An apple fritter and a bear claw. $27.
Aw.
Not happening for me.
And this was in like 1998.
Yeah, it's just that's highbrow. That's just not me.
It was like, wow. And the people that come here every day still complain about the price of gas.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, but you guys, let's close the show out. Rusty's nodding over, and
Rusty's falling asleep. He's had enough.
and Rusty
Rusty's
wants
falling
to show
off
me how
on
to
us.
close the show out, and
Rusty's gonna burn his house down if he's not careful.
That's all.
As long as he doesn't
All right.
set fire to that fancy T-shirt, he's all right.
Yeah, don't do that.
so, let me see here. So
Me and Jeff used to hang out on here for like hours after you guys closed out.
let me
I'll
thank
stay on if
all
you're
the
gonna
guests
be
who
here.
showed up. Appreciate it, and
I'll stay
those
on
of
for a
you
little
on
bit.
YouTube, we thank you. I try to keep up with you, and thank you for your questions. Anything else, Rusty?
That's it. Just thanks for coming. Wouldn't be a show without you.
Wouldn't be a show without you. That's what I missed. So thank you very much. All right, you guys can stay on as well. But guys, I'm just gonna close out the YouTube channel.
Man,
You guys can hang out. I'm not. I'm done.
I'm done too.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night,
Y'all
everybody.
take care.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you
me
for
and Jeff again.
thank you for all the holdouts. I appreciate it.
Good to see you, Jeff.
Good to see you, Len. Let me know about
You
those
bet.
Fox motors.
Yeah.
We're hanging in on them.
All right, man.
All right. So let me see here. So
Dropping like flies now.
yeah, I want the black screen, Rusty, or I leave that alone.
Click the three dots and end live stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those three dots is toggle. Okay, I'll just hit the end stream. Are you sure you want to end the stream? Yes.